so I'm doing this live because I was listening to, is she called Bomalicious? And I can tell she believes me, and she's right. It doesn't matter. Hi, Flotez. It doesn't matter either way if we did or didn't. Every single person that has contacted me in comments or in my messenger, all of them, they don't even say we believe you. They don't have to. And I can tell you believe me. I know she believes me. Jimmy knows he's a player, or he used to be. The reason I'm doing this live, okay, I know, but listen, the reason I'm doing this live, I didn't say my truth to try to ruin things with those two so I could take her place or something. That's just stupid. And I'm all the way in Washington, all right? Now, I wasn't going to do this live, but I didn't like the way she was talking to me like I'm a 12-year-old or something, like I'm trying to take someone's man. No, okay? So what I'm going to do is show again, because obviously she didn't see it, how I wouldn't say he led me on, but after I visited him, he made it look like we could keep something going. Now, she might have gotten all, as she calls, official PJ with him in December, right? Well, I didn't know she was with anyone, or he was, until March. So I was involved with him before March, and then found out, no, wait, he reached out to me at the end of March. She started seeing him in December. So for 3 whole months, I didn't know a fucking thing. And that's why in my live, I said my heart sank a little bit, right? Because, but he did. He told me, well, I got to have a girlfriend. I didn't know. Like, he's so busy. He's up all night doing lives. But let's be real. I knew I wasn't going to be his girlfriend. I knew that the whole Missa thing and possibly a BHB thing, but I didn't know. And I've heard other stories. He likes to meet some of his mods and this and that. Rock this girl, stuff like that. So I by no means thought I was going to be the one or something. This is so stupid. So anyway, what I'm going to do is show proof, and I hope she sees this or whatever, that after I got back, okay, after I saw him 3 times, morning, Saturday night, and Sunday night, okay, it's very, you don't splice up videos and then go, I don't get it, and have to go back, okay? I didn't say we could get in at 2 to have 1 hour thing, okay, to be together. I was simply stating that she would open the room up for me about an hour before 3, because 3 o'clock was the time. And I'm getting there at 8 in the damn morning with all my luggage. I want to put stuff away. So it was just an hour before. It wasn't all a big to-do for anything else. So I pulled up on my live for her to see, because this is the thing. When she laughed her butt off about the licking fingers and, and me never having anybody but to ask me to do that, well, he's, that's proof. Before I really saw it, I saw it. And that's like, just because it's big and everything isn't a reason to necessarily just have to meet a guy either. Okay, I just wanted to meet him. Now, She wrote, what? What? And I could have ignored it, but I hearted it and I just said, yep. And then I wrote a little more because I know what kind of lady she kind of is. She took all the little messages that Destiny Rose years ago sent her and played different parts and interjected her feelings into all of it. You know, if I were to ever play something back of someone's, I wouldn't splice it up. I wouldn't stop it and stop and comment my feelings about every little thing, even all this ice stuff. I don't do that. People don't want to necessarily hear my, oh God, go ice or whatever, okay? And while I'm thinking of it, there were two reasons. Jimmy was sitting over there on his live. I don't care if he's for or against ICE. What I didn't like was him insulting the protesters. Let's just get it real. And he was. He was saying, well, you all should have gotten out of bed and gone and voted. How does he know people didn't vote? You know, and I know he's just being funny and flip, but this was like the third day. He also said, well, you all voted for him. How does he know that anybody in Minnesota voted for him? He doesn't know. He also said that it doesn't do any good to protest. And that was on the first day. And then he said it again the second and the third. And then I noticed he kind of, because I was watching his protest to see if his sort of slash, lack of better word, rhetoric on being against protesting would calm down. And it did a little. But his belittling and mocking the people in Minnesota, freezing their asses off to take a stand because they don't know what else to do, that is what pissed me off. Not the fact that he's all for ICE and shit. Okay, that's a given. I also thought he wasn't really for Trump. But I know now he is, regardless of what he says, because he couldn't wait to play his Davos thing on his live. So I said, you know, this was before even anything to do with PJ. You guys look at my lives. I'm like, what? I thought Jimmy had more compassion than this for like people. All right? I've never ever said he's racist, and people don't think he is. But I'm here to say that he's not for those supporters in Minnesota. And then another live, and this isn't later on when he's tired and doesn't know what to say. This is in the beginning of his lives, you guys. He's saying things like, oh my God, look at that cheap drum that guy's banging on. What a waste of time. You'd think he'd at least get a nice, more expensive one. Or there was someone dressed as a pickle. You know, why are they looking so stupid and making an ass out of themselves? Who cares? Who cares what people wear? Who cares how they look? Maybe he's cold. And then in another live, he's picking on the younger folk because they were dancing. Well, maybe they're dancing because A, they're young, and B, they're excited because more people were coming to protest. You remember it was like, what, 1,000 or something the first day, and then more and more, and then the whole city. And in all honesty, if you look back at other protests, this was pretty damn peaceful. Okay, granted, I showed that thing at, I said it was Hotel Suite in Minneapolis. No, it's called Home 2 Suites. And that's where the agents were staying. And did they bang and bang and bang? And did it work? Yeah, frankly, it did. Okay, all you ICE lovers out there, it worked. The very next day, Bovino got court ordered to leave. Now, is he taking every agent with him? It doesn't look like it. But making that ruckus, okay, and throwing some snow in the door, none of that was planned. A guy reached out to get DoorDash. For those of you that haven't seen my video, I have it in full. And of that night. It was 2 nights ago. And the first door's locked, locked. No, he shut the doors, and then the second set of doors locked him out. He couldn't get in. Now, did they storm? This is what you got to ask yourself. Did they storm in like what was done on January 6th? Okay. Did they? No. A couple of them wandered up, and he didn't know what to do, this guy. And then they just kind of came. Nobody said, let's get him, or let's break in. Nothing like that. Watch the video. But Bovino, who I call Kilvino, is he's out. So protesting does work. One of the agents tried to grab this guy's arm. He was staying in the door. They were making a stand, and there was a little vandalism at the end. There was. One side window got broke, besides a few things thrown in. But there were no fires and cars being lit or anything. People actually listened to the mayor and the governor. So that's what it is. It's not a political thing where Jimmy's for ICE and I'm not. Okay? And the reason I'm so deeply into this, for some weird reason kind of, is 40 some years ago, I lived in St. Paul, Minnesota when I was 20. My aunt lived there, and I moved there and lived there for 1 year in St. Paul. And then I lived at the Y in Minneapolis. So I have experience in that place. Not only that, I am from South Dakota. You cannot get more Midwest than that. And Minnesota is very nearby. So I stand for those people. I may be stuck here in Washington State, okay? And that's why I do lives, because it's my way to stay connected with the world and have someone to, talk to besides my kids. I go to the store and I have friends in this town, but they want me to come over and take the bus and do this, and I'm just too tired. And it's probably from being on my high blood pressure pills. I'm on 2 now since my stress-induced heart attack. So, and that was in April, in case Bombshell Reloaded doesn't know. But I'm watching and everything's fine. And in fact, I even put my pajamas on. That's how fine everything was. But when she ended her little part, when she read the post that PJ wrote, I'm gonna marry him, he's my man, we're engaged, all that. Okay, that's fine and dandy. But I know stuff about the ring, because I talked to someone very, 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 very close to him. Now, whether she's my friend anymore, I don't know. After all this, I'm kind of afraid to call her. But, okay, I'm sorry. We talked about it. She doesn't even think it is, okay? And she knows, because he didn't want to do that. And he got a little mad at her and said, oh, now you're pressuring me, okay? And this person that I know very well, and he does too, said, Jimmy, she wants a ring. Just get her a ring. And he broke, and he did. And now it's this big to-do. Okay, I did a live Bombshell Reloaded. I did a live that said, maybe now with all this, everything and the time and her ring and her, they are engaged. Even if it's just in spirit and it's just a ring, right? I have rings. I have a fake red ring and a cute little diamond ring underneath that's also fake, okay? But I'm given rings by my friend Teresa in this town. My mom has mailed me rings, and it can mean different things to different people. Okay, this isn't about me saying, okay, they're not engaged anymore, they're never going to get married. Frankly, probably by now, if he is the type that will marry someday, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, like within even the next 5 years. I could be wrong. He's getting older. He's getting tired. okay? He's 51, he'll be 52. I'm 63. Someone in your chat said I'm nearing 65. No, I'm 63. But in June, I'll be 64. And at least I'm not afraid to say my age. I'm not. It's a miracle I'm alive. The risks I took and the partying I did and the places I went and all of that, you know. Hitchhiking from Vermont to Montreal to see the Chippendales and getting in cars. Granted, I wasn't alone, but still with different men to get to Canada. And we didn't even know if we could get through the border. But we did. So now, you know, we wouldn't be able to, but it was different in the 80s. So I've had my wild times and my wild life. But I'm here to say, and this is a thing. You showed my first video with the turtle that someone made for his thumbnail way back with the beard and when he had a blunt and a whatever. You didn't show. This is what I don't like. I asked you if you would give me the courtesy, bombshell reloaded. I typed, didn't I? Didn't you see it? I typed and said, before you do a live on me, because I knew you would, because you did way back 2 years ago or whatever. That was quite a bit rather malicious. This one wasn't. This one you acted like you were feeling sorry for me and I'm still delusional and I think I just can take someone's place. No, that's so damn stupid, okay? But I asked you, look at my other videos. Look at the other videos because after that one, I ended up doing 2 more. I wasn't even going to do another one. I did one because some of her friends were saying, you know, oh, she's just reading that off paper. She just wrote it all down. Are you kidding me? I have tremors. And since my stress-induced heart attack in April, and I always say that because it hasn't even been a year, they're worse. And my thalamic stroke in 2020 didn't help. But they started in 1989 and they're worse. I'm starting to spill coffee on me. I have to hold the top down. My daughter has to help me with more things. I can walk, I can dance, I can move, I can do whatever. But I have tremors, mostly in my hands. And I was on Propanol for a while, but it made my heart race. I was on it a whole year. But it was helping, but it was making my heart race, so I went off it. So I asked you, Bombshell, if you would do me the courtesy to look at the other ones. And tonight you didn't. You just fucking dismissed me. And I just think that's wrong. Nobody has to like me or even understand me or my way of thinking or anything. But I'm here to say what's shocking. It's shocking is I have gotten not even 90 or 95. I have gotten nothing but support, love, caring, and understanding from 98% of people. And people I don't even know. People I've never heard of that are writing to me and saying, I've been following you since you were on Dolly's. I think you're great. Keep up the dancing. You go, girl. Or pay this no mind. Maybe he led you on. It's just nothing but support and caring. But it's the people that don't check each video. So what I'm going to do is let you all know, again, especially Bombshell Reloaded, because she didn't even really take it in, is after I got back from that trip, and granted, you want to say it's 3 years ago? 2.5, which is a long time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I kept it inside all this time until literally out of PJ's mouth was, you know what? I'm tired of her saying this. I want receipts. And I was like, really? Does she? So then these people thought Beet Juice and Susan Jones and someone else that I was just reading some damn script and that I wrote it. So I showed, right, my messenger things, which you are showing on your live, but you didn't even go through them all. I mean, maybe you can't read backwards, but it doesn't even matter. I read them. I read each one. Now, I'm not going to show that. You already showed that. Everyone, your followers or whatever, have seen it. But I am going to show you this. Because you didn't see it. Right now, I wasn't going to do this. Like, no way. This is kind of over the top for me. Yeah, I don't do this stuff. Not kind of. It is over the top. This is way after I got back quite a few months ago, but quite a few months after the trip I made. You can't see it. You all can take your own dang screenshots of that. I'll let that sit there a little while. Jimmy Jams. This is the burner phone number, I guess. Yeah, for someone that didn't want to stay in touch with me. 89719. Why did he give me a burner phone? No number. Nobody's ever done that. Now, I just want people to understand that this tryst, like she wants to call it, or liaison, or being friends on Messenger, and, you know, me sending him pics and videos and whatever, this wasn't 2 months, it wasn't 3 months, it wasn't 6. Try 21. Try 21 months. And you want to know why? He reached out to me at the end of March. And it was that next following August, the next coming August, that I went there. That was 2023. And when I got back, the last time I was up on panel ended up being Halloween. He said, don't worry, Tina, give it time. That was his biggest thing to say, give it time. Well, we went through Thanksgiving. We went through Christmas. I kept giving it time. I said, the longer I'm away, Jimmy, the more the turtles, because they were all attacking me, right, aren't going to let me back. And I was right. But the thing is, I backed back. Bombshell Reloaded, I backed away from even asking to be in his chat. But did he stay friends with me? Yeah. Did we talk? Yeah. Did he ask me for a video now and then? Yeah. And I knew I was putting myself out there, but I felt special. I felt special, even more special after meeting the guy. Okay? And I was hearing a lot of things. Negative things, okay? He had to change the locks on his door to keep her away. She kept coming back. Sierra has told me stuff and shown me texts that she constantly wrote to her, complaining about Jimmy, complaining. Oh, he's ignoring me. He's never been in a relationship. I don't know what I've done. He always gives me his card, but now he's mad because I have it. When he took the trip to Pennsylvania, they had a bad damn fight that morning. It was bad. To the point where he said, bring me my fucking card to the house. And she said, no, I'll put it in the mailbox and you can pick it up. This is the kind of relationship they had for 2 years. Now on the third or whatever one they're in now, no, they've been together 3. Starting, it kind of seems like maybe this year, it's better for them, okay? Now, that's what it seems like to me. They're used to each other or something. But Sierra got the same thing. And what I want to say is this. What I want to say, it's happened again, is we continued a friendship and a well, whatever you want to call it, parasocial relationship online. And so if you add up the time, because for a whole year since last not this past Christmas, the last one. The last time I talked to him was about the wish list, and I said I put money down, or no, I paid for this bouncy ball, whatever. And I contacted him on his burner phone, and and the first time he gave it to me, he said, I said, well, when can we talk? And he said, now. And I couldn't believe it. Now, granted, it was 2 or 3 in the morning, but that's not the point. So I was kind of excited, and I thought, gee, because he was scared. He didn't want to do the messenger thing anymore. This is what you guys don't understand. So it wasn't, you know, a quick one night fuck. He made time to see me 3 different days that I was there. And that's the way it goes. Not even days. Now, I totally forgot. I flew out on the 23rd, literally on his birthday, and I plumb forgot. And I saw him the 24th of the morning after, you know, he picked me up at the airport. And then I didn't see him, well, until 3 that he had to leave. So that's what, 4 hours. And yeah, we were on the beach, and yeah, we were sweating bullets, and yeah, it was exciting. And then Saturday, I was alone all day. And then he snuck out or whatever. He ignored PJ and her daughter, mostly her. And she's like, fuck you. You won't even look at me or talk to me. Probably because he knew I was 25 minutes away. I mean, what else could it be? And the next thing I know, he said, you want me to come over, whatever, in Messenger. I was like, sure. So he showed up, and I don't care if I say these details. I was in a little red negligee thing, and I went to the door, and we had a wonderful time. And then I didn't see him all of Sunday. Okay, and I had a chance to go to the beach, but I didn't really want to do it and take the bus and all this. And he showed up Sunday night, and we said goodbye. And I didn't cry. That's the thing, you guys. I didn't go, oh, God, Jimmy, I'm never going to see you again, am I? Oh. No. After we were physically together, we sat on the end of the bed, and I remember he said to me, he said, so what did you enjoy most about Virginia? And I kind of chuckled and said, meeting you, Jimmy, you know, and he just, I think he said, aw, like that. And, you know, we talked just a little bit, and I said, I'm just going to take a cab to the airport. A damn hurricane was coming in. But this is a thing. I let him know that I got home safely, and he did say, he typed it. I was shocked. He said, can you come back in a couple of weeks? Okay, that should tell you something. And I just couldn't believe it. And I don't have the money, and I couldn't just leave my family again. But I said, probably sometime. Now, for him to treat me like that, I didn't think he was that serious with her. You know, you guys can all blame me, right? Blame me. It takes 2. So anyway, I thought, this is what I thought, and I talked to him a little bit about it, and he kept saying, I don't know, maybe, and this kind of thing. I'm very close to Vegas. I'm an hour airplane ride. So I thought, in all honesty, for over a year, maybe someday, I'd see Jimmy again in Vegas. Now, I've never divulged that ever, but I feel like I can, because, you know, they're together, living together, building pools and all this. So, so the timeline was the March to the next August is March, April, May, June. Well, let's be fair. He reached out at the end of March. So April, May, June, July, August. I get to meet him 5 months later. I get back and we're in communication September, October. Okay, those 2 whole months. Oh, not counting the year before, it's a total of 21 months. I'm not even kidding. It's a fact. It's not a little 7 months or whatever. It just kept, the next year came. Well, it was 2022 of March. And I have that. If you guys want to take your magnifying glasses, you'll see on the thing, I'm not going to pull out my messenger on here, but it says August 23rd, 2023, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, yeah, 2023. So the 23, around to the stayed in touch the whole time, 24, and then, yeah, because of this past year. So I'm here to say, just because I'm not a turtle anymore and I'm in his chat, and just because I was a tiger for a while and everyone thought I was going for Ernie's shell, no. I was still friends and communicating closely and intimately with Jimmy for a whole damn year. And everybody tried to get it out of me, including Ernie Shell, who's trying to set me up with words and, oh, what kind of swimming suit did you wear on the beach in Virginia? And I'm like, Ernie, I'm not answering that, you know, and this kind of thing when I used to be on his panel. So that's a year. And then there's the other months, and the total is 21 months. Now, you know, am I a scorned woman? If I was a scorned woman, would I have held it in, what, 2.5 years? No. If I was a scorned woman, would I, you know, be dancing and trying to build my channel? No. I probably would have quit my channel and been depressed. But I'm grown. I'm older than that. Now, for all you women that say, oh, she knew he had a girlfriend and she's trying to take another person's man. No, they weren't that serious in the very beginning. Now, if I jumped in, let's say last year, it'd be a different story. I didn't know. He didn't want me to know. And when I asked him if he, I said, I literally called him on Messenger. I've only done that 3 times in all those months. And I said, there's a lot of talk going around. Are you kind of seeing PJ? Or is she your girlfriend? I think I literally said that. And he didn't say anything. And I said, Jimmy, he was scared almost to tell me. And I said, it's okay. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. That's what I said to him. And he said, he goes, well, Megan, I gotta have a girlfriend. So matter-of-factly. And that brought me back to his band days and, right? You know, being in a band and probably having pussy left and right. Who the hell knows? But the point is, and then I said, oh, okay, so you do. And he was like, well, it's on and off. Okay, what does that tell me? They're having problems after 3 months, or maybe I have a chance, or maybe it's going to be off for good. I don't know. What I do know is that I think it was May, the following May, 2 months later, I think, don't quote me on this, when his brother passed away, he was kind of down and I guess had the shades down, and she would just kept showing up. Get up, Jimmy, and do this and do that. And then she got herself into his business so deep. He didn't feel like he could do the business without her. What size goes out, what this, what that. Then a year later, a year before my heart attack, he has a heart attack. And he doesn't want to be alone. I'm not saying this is why she moved in or they're together. But this is how it happened. And I don't blame him. He was having anxiety really bad, plus not having a blunt, right? The next thing you know, she's moved in. And then a few months later, her daughter too. And in all honesty, I mean, yeah, maybe I should have felt better about myself, but I just, I don't know. I do know. I didn't think it would come to this with them. Okay. I didn't. And like I said on another video, which Bombshell Reloaded did not even look at, I said, or she did hear this part, gee, she's living there, her daughter's there, they're building a pool, a tiki bar, this is before the studio now, right? And every trip he goes on, she's going. But in all honesty, I know why. She doesn't trust him. It's whatever. But they also went on trips, because he's a nice guy and he's a generous guy. So, I'm not pining over here for what could have been. I'm not. I've been through enough heartbreaks, or not heartbreaks. I wasn't even heartbroken because I knew what kind of person he was. Do you know what I mean? And I knew what he was trying to portray. If he comes across single, he's going to get a lot more attention. It's 90% women, just like with Ernie Shell. They even talk about it on their lives. It's 90% women in those chats. So if he comes across single, it's not even about money necessarily. I mean, that's part of it, but he gets more support. So anyway, yeah. So that's the deal with that. And I want to make that clear. And I was going to do a live tomorrow on this, but I hope to God Bombshell sees this. And I think she will, since I put at Bombshell Reloaded #2. By the way, on my channel, I get compliments about my hair. I have thick hair. It's been layered and then, the heck is it called? Clippers, I think. Or no, not clippers. A razor cut. And this, for those people out there that have been insulting me and saying it looks like a wig, which is silly, well, that's because it's black with the bluish tint. I've had black hair before, but it was long, and it was a good 10 years ago. This is called a bob, okay? For some of you, country folk that just like to have the long hair and the ponytail and the whatever. I'm 2 hours from Seattle, and I'm a fairly classy person, I think. And it's a bob, and it's different, and it goes to the mouth, and it'll be down to here in about 4 months. And you can have bangs, or you don't have to have bangs. And I have butterfly bangs, where these are shorter, and this is longer. Okay, and this is called a, what is the word for? I want to say spanky bob, but you guys will all run with that. It's some kind of name where it's just a layered bob. It's fun. It's easy to take care of, and it's not a wig. It's my hair. It's a little longer in front, and I can put it behind my ears, or even on one side if I want. And whatever. So anyway, I guess I wanted to say that. So as far as the tiara, I've never seen it before. People on their avatars wear tiaras and on their lives. Okay, go get them. But whatever. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. But that's just me. So I'm going to pull this up because I talk a little bit at the end, and I'm going to show this. Not that.
Where to next?
Not that. Oh my God, you guys. It's like filming myself. The heck one is this? It's like filming myself. See that? The heck one is this? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay. And what I want to do is I need to go to the right live because I'm going to take care of this once and for all. All right? Here we are. This is the second one. That's where I am at the motel, and I'm taking a picture in my wrinkled skirt and my tank top, and that's what I had on when the guy put his finger down my neck and down my back. That kind of, I don't know, he kind of freaked me out, and then I was like, he wanted to help me carry my stuff, and I was, I didn't want to piss him off, but I'm not going to, kiss his ass. And I was like, no, I got it, but thank you, like that. And he said, okay. And he stayed in the store because he knew like the cashier and everything. And I was kind of nervous he was gonna, because I was like not even half a block. I was a few hundred yards from a little store to cross the street, McDonald's. And I didn't want him to know where I was staying. I mean, a woman opened the door. She was trying to move stuff in. She was 19. She's in a motel. I can't remember where. It was on my email. And she had her door unlocked because she's getting her stuff in. And some wackadoodle comes up, pushes her in, slams the door, and trigger warning, stabbed her to death. She didn't know the guy. He doesn't know her. He's whacked out on drugs. And she's dead. So, so yeah, Jimmy told me when I told him these two little stories, be careful. He said there's a lot of drug activity or something around there. All right? So, 2 months after the trip I made, you all can take your own dang screenshots of that. I'll let that sit there a little while. It's Jimmy Jams. This is the burner phone number, I guess. 757-618-9719. He says, only hit me up at number. And then I said, I don't know what the hell I said. And, I said, no more messenger. He said, no. N-A-W. I never heard nah until his live. Saying I never met him. Fucking bullshit. I made this 3 days ago. And she can go ahead and continue to wear her tiara, try to make herself feel better, and all this kind of stuff. But she hated me clear back, and I mean hated me, when I was up on his panels. And I didn't know this. Maria G and I were always good friends. I think PJ used Maria G to get to and through other people, not just me. And after she typed me this big long letter saying, because she thought I would respond on Messenger about not going. She's the one that told me not to go to Tennessee. Jimmy never said that. And I can say that on wherever my mom and sister's graves are. I can. And my father. And she typed me a big long letter, and there were different things in it. Like, we are 10,000% together. I don't want you to be embarrassed or feel awkward. Do not come. This is the memorial. Like, I haven't heard back from you. I don't know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And that was after she kept trying to get me on Messenger. She tried calling me, everything. And I just flat ignored her. And wasn't even in the chat during that time.
Maybe I can make it bigger.
So yeah. So there it is, folks. And I said, I'll call when you're not live. And he says, text number only. Okay? That's the Jimmy Jams logo thing. And let's put the record straight for Sierra.
God damn
He
it.
gave her a number 2. It could have been this one. I don't know. But she had a burner phone number too. So when I say, PJ, the first 2.5 years of your life were kind of a lie, yeah. And you kept thinking he was falling and falling and falling more in love with you. Well, he's doing his own thing, because I said on many of my lives, don't worry, I never even addressed her for the longest time. I don't do these petty little lives on other people. I mean, Team Rose and I did when we were really fighting and all that, and thank God we're friends. And in fact, I just heard from her yesterday, you know, and then the week before, and then every day before that. And so we're very close as Maria G and I are. But yeah, so there it is. It probably doesn't exist anymore. That's the one that I contacted him on about the wish list for, I can't remember the name now. It was a little boy though. It was Christmas time. And for those of you that think, oh, she's probably using someone else's messenger. No. Okay, that is me up there with my cartoon avatar. I have friends Kylie, Mary Jane Doe, Maria G, Rose, her name, oh no, that's okay, Jacqueline, which is Truth Seeker, Luna Moon, Kim Kern, and many more. It's mine. And then this is the reason I did it. Okay? If people want to say, oh, she's being dirty, she's being snide. No, I did it because this woman was relentless. She sent me at least two. This one, Snoop Sisters Investigates, right here. It says, commented, this was this morning, or maybe last night. Why not show screenshots if this is real, period? I don't believe this unless I see screenshots. Okay? This is why I'm in my pajamas, haven't had any coffee, fed the cats, haven't done much of anything yet, and I'm setting the record straight again. So they can go and be on their merry way. And again, he's her money card, period. And I sound like a jealous, scorned person. I'm telling you right now, I'm not. And, shit. What I am is tired of people calling me names and not believing it. And after I did all that I did yesterday, anyone in their right mind would believe what I said. Like, I have tremors. I'm not going to write all that down. So you had to see it on Messenger. Now, this is just for it to be out there, 1,000%. This isn't so Jimmy can be picked on. This isn't, or anything like that, go to his channel, sub up. Dolly Vision Investigates now. Thank you. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate everyone that's ever here. And I'm just done with this. Okay, I don't have all the techno. I don't even know how to do screenshots. But that's just a fact. Okay? But we're not on Messenger anymore at all. And it's been quite a few months. And that's because he was really nervous and scared. So anyway, I don't know. I guess I'll say a quick hi. Oh, God. I can't hardly see this.
Raining again.
There we go. Why does it say Rip Alex? Who died?
See, I didn't know about Pretty.
That's by Genevieve.
That day.
What happened? Is there sound? A nurse, Tina. What? Wait.
I have no clue about the Pretty thing yet, because it's
a nurse died.
Pretty early in the morning here when I made that.
But we do know that first they said he was 51, then they said he was 37-year-old man got shot. Okay, he had a gun on him. So what? It doesn't mean it was pulled out or anything. And maybe in self-defense he was trying to save his life at the protest. We don't know. There's an investigation. What we do know is that another person is dead in Minneapolis. And before he died, he had like 6 or 7 thugs, because that's what ICE is, all on top of him. And after he was shot, he was being, was it kicked or punched? It was punched over and over again in the body. Makes me freaking sick. And, yeah. You are being heard, Tina. What's their channel? I'll report them for spreading false information. Holiday Shelby. Well, I mean, there's PJ Vision, or I think she goes by that now, but she's not really spreading. Oh, you mean the sisterly people or whatever the hell? Avatar? I have no idea. I hit on their thing. I don't even think they have a channel. But it's okay. It's simple, but don't blame others when they didn't do anything. Yeah. I think they want pics of the text, not you reading it or writing it out. If I'm understanding this, not sure new here. Trees 3446. Yeah. But I don't even think people believed that we were on Messenger together. In fact, I said, right before the burner phone thing, I said, I'm going to miss FaceTiming with you. That's what I said. Okay, this Rat-tat-tat person says, or Rat-a-ta-VR, hi guys, I broke my leg. Gosh, if you really did, I'm very sorry. Be respectful. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
I'm letting this
She tried to be strong in her life, but she's really hurt too.
See, people think I'm all hurt.
That's the thing, you guys. I'm not hurt because I felt like I was falling in love with him and getting to know him, and I was.
in Messenger and things like that for a good 3 whole months until I found out about her. And it was too late, you know. She didn't like walk in and bring him to an altar to marry him. So, and I wasn't competing or anything. I just wanted to stay friends and have what we had. So, you know, it's not like, you know, in March when I found out, in the very end of March, when he, you know, reached out to me, because it was like a couple of weeks after that, I was like, what? You know, because like I wrote cutie and I put a pie emoji in the chat, and she was in the chat, and I didn't even flip and know that she was like seeing him. Okay, I heard she was doing the mail for him, like just mailing packages, and was someone in Virginia. I didn't know anything about her, nothing. Is this the room for the crazies? Seems selfish to keep bringing this up. No, sidekick. No, it's not. Because other people aren't just letting me be with my truth. They're wanting damn screenshots. Others are involved like they're children. Whatever happened doesn't matter now. That's right. They're not engaged, all right? They're not engaged. They're not engaged.
They might be now.
He was pressured by someone, and I know this, and I won't say by who, but to get her a ring. You know she wants a ring. You know she wants a ring. It's not an engagement ring. Whatever.
It could be now, a few days later. Here.
Yeah, I know. And she's living there, and they built a pool. It's not about that. But, hi, Killing Time. I apparently, thank you, Martin Rowe, for always being here, too. Apparently, I had to show more. The tremors show this isn't good for you, not good for anyone, really. Well, I have tremors anyway, but they're really, really bad. When I haven't eaten, I haven't even had a sip of water, and they're worse. Since, you know, probably holding all this in and having a stress-induced heart attack. He had one, it was in August, shortly after his birthday. He had one a year later, and then I had one a year after that. It's just so weird, in April. See, the problem is that PJ was insisting that they never met, calling Tina crazy, and that's BS. So I'm glad Tina is putting her story out. Good for her. PJ is a bully and has said nasty things. Well, she's certainly not very nice to people in Jimmy's chat. She might be better now, but in the past she's like, do we have to repeat that again? Or, oh my God, he doesn't need a bunch of mothers in here. Or, oh man, he won't take a pill. He won't take an aspirin. I've tried to tell him. He doesn't listen to me. I mean, it's just condescending to him, condescending to her chat. Mama Shell says, also says, she's a nasty person and Tina is more of a woman than PJ will ever be, so they're there now. She can see the receipts. Don't you ever feel bad for telling the truth, Tina. He led you on for a very long time. He led me on only for about 3 months. And I understand, you know, but then he also said he was on and off with PJ. He could have said, I do have a girlfriend, you know, and the thing is, when I talked to him, I said, you know, don't be afraid to tell me. I said, I'm a big girl. I can handle it like that. And and then he didn't say it's true and all this. He just said it's off and on. I'm telling you, on my family's graves, wherever on earth they are, in the Midwest somewhere. MS0426 says she hates herself in reality, but to each their own these days. We appreciate you, PCT, no matter what. Thank you so much. I wonder what makes PJ so insecure that she's okay with being second or third. I'll never see what y'all see in Dolly Don Juan, says Halloween Baby. Hi, Halloween Baby. Been a while. In music, movies, and chill. Nice to see you too. Thank you. Hi, T. Wanted to say hi to you and Martin. I'll probably change my name again someday to just Megan something, because the name Tina, like, I don't know, it just kind of went with paper cut Tina, I guess. That's what Jimmy and 3 Dot thought. So, you know, I knew the situation in the springtime, but I was up there all the time, and again, I never thought I would be able to meet him. So I was just having fun. I was having fun when my life was, you know, pretty boring and that kind of thing. And, you know, I really liked Darren and everything, but, you know, it was, I don't know. I was with him for 8 years, and I even showed him my channel, and he didn't even really want to see anything. I told him I used to be on Dolly Vision, and there just wasn't any kind of interest. So to this day, have I told him that I went there? No. And will he ever see them here? No. You know, because I didn't say we're through. I just said, you need someone younger, because he's 57 and I'm older, 6 years older, and I didn't like the way he was judging me for being sick more than 3 or 4 days without even saying it. You know, you feel things in your heart. Yeah, I saw Queen Bee's live because somebody tagged me or whatever that's called with it. And I did see that, and she covered when PJ jumped up on stage and was screaming at me. And it's too long to do anyway to do. You shouldn't have to. Just here to support me, Tina. Thank you, Mama Shell. Yeah, that was amazing. TDB 8409. I didn't know there was 700 no chat, but I looked through our chat and they were on my side, and they don't even barely know me. Some of them have heard of me and maybe seen my program or through clip channels. Well, I know PJ used to be kind of friends with Queen Bee at one point, wasn't she? Allegedly, I better say, like over a year ago, and then they had a falling out because of something. You know, Dolly and Queen Bee, that's a different story. Mama Shell says she'll never be the only one. Dolly is a ladies' man. I mean, honestly, does she really think he's changed just for her? She's not that special, and that crown she wears is absolutely ridiculous. I'm just gonna say it. You couldn't pay me. Well, maybe $500 if someone sent me $500 and a tiara, I'd probably try it on at least. But to try to come across like I'm a queen or better than anybody or a princess, to me, shows insecurity. You know, Sierra did a live, and apparently Jimmy was with Missa, that Missa lady way back, and um, cheated on her apparently with who? Let's see, Sierra, and then cheated on. This is allegedly, but this is what Sierra says, and then cheated on PJ with Sierra because they had just gotten together, and then Sierra saw him again another time, and then even a third time, but the third time they didn't have you know what. So that's all the first, uh, you know, first year of their relationship. And so she hates Sierra, won't say her name, this and that and the other thing.
It's a scratchy noise.
Now, I
'cause
don't even think PJ, when Bullhorn Betty got with Jimmy or
Got
whatever,
tremors or
allegedly, I guess I'll say, even though it's in documents, I guess. I don't think he got together. I'm pretty sure PJ wasn't with him.
God.
When I was watching that whole Georgia thing and Quentin Simon, somebody
Jeez.
named PJ sent both of them coffees and possibly even donuts. The
That's
name was just PJ. And I think it was her. And I think clear back in October, before she feels she made it known, or to herself anyway, that she was with him, she was trying to get him. So she can say whatever she wants. Also, when I looked back at her channel from good 4 or 5 years ago, she was with another YouTuber. And I'm going to say it right here. He was a married man. And yeah, so she's not perfect herself. And that was, what was his name? Shoot. Anyway, I can't remember. But I had people send me screenshots of things, and he was married. Yeah.
I didn't ask. I just got these screenshots all the time in my messenger.
And now I guess her eyes, Sierra feels, are on a deception detective or something. So she's one of these women that has to have this YouTuber kind of lifestyle, and I think to fuel her spending addiction, or whatever you want to call it. First, for this man that was married that she was with, she was a mod for. So you guys can look all that up way back. And he did a little short calling her name out in her channel. And I saw that. And I think he even said, I love PJ or something like that, allegedly. My short-term memory isn't very good. So I don't want to say. So, well, niece says, Tina, I'm respectfully asking, why would you want to meet anyone that wants you to be a secret? Because, I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, if I'm gonna meet, I mean, how else do I say it? He's kind of a big to-do. Okay, and I looked back at his Jimmy Jam shows, and I actually looked back at his bands. Once he said he was in All Has Fallen, the name of his band, and he was this sort of rock star in his 30s, or 35, in this band here in Virginia where he lives. And his hair was really long, and he was, a little bigger and drinking a lot of beer. but he was screaming through that microphone. So my point is, he's not just a YouTuber. And when the thing is, I wasn't planning on seeing. Well, of course, I wanted to see him and meet him, right, at Summer's Memorial. And I was just going to shake his hand because I knew she'd be there. I mean, she goes everywhere, right? And she's going to be there. So I was going to go to the memorial, but then we were all getting these behind the scenes and through the woodwork kind of deal, death threats going. And so boom, there's no memorial to support Summer Wells, and I'm not going to meet Jimmy or any Lori Shortlegs or any of the other regulars that were planning on going. I'm pretty sure she was planning on going. I might have been wrong about that, but I thought she was. And so like I said, I changed my ticket to the birthday bash he was going to have in October. And I'm going to put this camera on really quick. And that was going to be in October. And I was even kind of looking at prices of cabins and talking to his sister, and she said some are cheaper and some are more expensive, and just in case they were in like this cabin area. And so anyway, and if it wasn't there, it was going to be at a great big hotel, and it was getting exciting for everybody, and women wanted to go, and PJ put a stop to it behind the scenes with him. Flat period. That's what happened. Okay, and maybe that weekend, I think they did go off somewhere together, but he wanted to have a special like meet and greet. That's what he wanted. But she was starting to take over his life even then. And this is over 2 years ago. So I had this ticket, and the fact of the matter is, I was like, okay, the memorial's canceled, and the bash is canceled, and I still have this ticket because I called Cheapo Air. I did. I called to see if I could get my money back. And he said, you can't keep changing it, no, and all this. And when I talked to the lady at SeaTac, she said, Cheapo Air and those airlines that profess to be cheap really aren't. They're more expensive. And yeah. So she told me what I could have flown over there for. And I mean, it wasn't a ton less, but it was like 500 and something round trip instead of my 7-Eleven. And I don't have money to waste or burn. And as I said the other day, my trust fund is gone. And I didn't even know how big it was. I got about 300, so I wouldn't lose my housing and that kind of thing every 3 months, and a little gift of 200 for my aunt and uncle that were executors in Iowa. So paying everyone back, I knew I could pay Destiny Rose back. I knew I could pay Maria G back. Maria G said I didn't have to pay her back, but then we had that falling out, and she was Team Rose's mod and all this, and we both felt it was the right thing to do, so I paid her back. And Destiny Rose wanted her money right away. She was getting slightly threatening. in my messenger. And that whole thing was weird because I knew her for like, I got to know her. Well, she was in Dolly Vision's chat and said that she could sell me a cheap phone or something through what now, I can't remember. And she works for them. And I was naive, but she sent me a picture of the place and she was standing by the table. So to this day, I think it's legit. She sent me pictures of her home after the tornado hit where she lives. I'll just say in the Midwest area somewhere. She actually showed me her little turtle pool that she had turtles in, and I well, she had to have saved them. I mean, there's no way they weren't in there the next day, but she had to have, taken them out and put them somewhere and saved them, knowing this huge tornado was coming. She was losing power and calling me and messaging me. I mean, almost crying. Said she's in the bedroom with a mattress up against the door with her kids. We were close. She told me I was like a mother to her, or I felt like a mother, or I felt like I could be her mother or something like that. And so when I took the trip down and came back and said, I'm back to her, she was like, well, did you meet him? And I said, I'm not going to say. And then she got like pissed about it. What? I gave you that money to meet him. Did you meet him or not? Why are you doing this? I think she was even calling me Megan, and in Messenger, and I said, I don't want to say. I'm not going to say. And in fact, the very first time, now a little bit of my memory's coming back from that, I think I said no. And she insulted him. She said, I can't believe that. You went all the way down there and blah, blah, blah. And so, I'm not letting people know. And she demanded, and then she threatened me about getting the money back to her in 2 days, and this and that and the other thing. And I said, Destiny, I don't get my trust fund for another, it was August, so 2 months in October, and then I'd get another little one in November, December, January, another one in April, like that. And and I saved all those messages. I have them all, because you learn to forward things the longer you're in YouTube to your own messenger page in case you get blocked, and then I went through all that weird stuff with Grand Mammy Annie or whatever, and she's still out there in the ether. She was in Dolly Vision's chat yesterday, but so yeah,
My son knocked on the door. I'm just listening to, I wanted you guys to hear this, so you can see that I've gotten quite a bit of support, and you can hear the roundabout details that I couldn't even get my money back. And so even if I didn't meet him or PJ or both of them, I was going to Virginia. And, I needed a vacation anyway. I seriously did. And,
so
but I knew he'd make
that
a way
whole
of
thing was
seeing
really
me.
freaking weird. And the whole thing with that woman I just said, from Norway, she was saying I was stalking her, but really she was harassing and stalking me. And I brought it up on Dolly Vision chat, and nobody, really wanted to talk about it. And I said, no, this is serious. There's a typed up some kind of letter from her lawyer. And it was the weirdest thing I've ever been through. And then over a year later, a sheriff called me and said this woman called her twice to say I was harassing her. And then I was getting concerned because she's from Washington State, not in my town, but I'll just say an island area. And yeah, it was just so strange. And when she called me to say this woman was accusing me of that and asked me just like 2 questions, she could tell that she was a not the word isn't it's what is it, fanatic, I don't know, now I can't remember the word, but the sheriff person that called me worked with the mental health department. This was not this past November, but I think the one before it. So anyway, I said, oh my God. And then she didn't tell me she had called her a second time. I asked, I said, has she called you before? And she said, yes, 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, so I've been through my own share of stuff online, and I think, honestly, you guys, I'll end with this. I think that's what's made me stronger, is the cyberbullying, is people saying I can't do something and I need to prove it to myself that I can, and to them. And I'm not a liar. And, this doesn't make Jimmy a horrible person. This lets people understand that in the beginning, he wasn't ready to be tied down, so to speak, by her or anyone, because he was doing his own thing. Has he had a heart attack? Is he, a little older now? Because I'm telling you, age makes a difference. He is going to feel a difference in his achy bones when he's 55 compared to 50. And then it'll be worse when he's 60. And this is the way it goes. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here and supporting Martin and everyone else. And the people that came in the bushes, or should we call them the briar bushes? Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I lost my train of thought, but I feel better getting a little bit of understanding of why I did this. I'm trying to see if I missed anyone in chat, and I'm not able to for some reason. Oh, there it is. If you're watching for the sport, yeah, PJ is a total clout chaser, allegedly, I guess I better say. Gotta eat, but apparently she needs to more. I don't care if that's kind of mean. I'm mad at her. She was never my kind of a flirt. I mean, I didn't ever meet Jimmy or something. It was just weird, and I'm just like, what? So I contacted him. In fact, I called him on Messenger. And I had only done that once about a bullying situation, and then about does he have a girlfriend, and other than that, we FaceTimed, and a lot. And it was special. And I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go now. Thanks, everyone. I don't care if you hit the like at all. I really don't. This isn't about clicks and views. This isn't about making Jimmy's life worse. This is because of that sisterly, whatever the heck avatar that didn't just send it to me once. It was like 3 different women, and sisterly, what's her face, twice. And I was like, that's it. Because I knew there'd be people that would doubt it. I said that on that live. I said, oh God, I don't care if people think I wrote this. I said that even. Sure enough. Well, I gave you the best proof I can. You can get your magnifying glasses out, do whatever you want. I hope Jimmy can forgive me in his heart someday. And yeah, you know, I'd like to still be his friend, but I'm pretty sure it'll, you know, probably never happen again. And PJ will love the ending of that. She'll be like, yeah, I won. He's my man, this and that. Well, stop mothering him. Do little things for him, but don't mother him and tell him what to do, how to be, and how to act. And you may be able to keep him. And learn some skills in the bedroom. That might help you too. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
That was a hit. I know that wasn't very nice, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and play. So now,
Pieces of juicy chicken or
so
three
then,
crunchy tenders, fries,
for
a biscuit,
God's
and a
sake.
drink
So
for
then after
$7.99
that,
every day.
what the heck? After that, I believe I read PJ's post. And after all that, she was saying that I was making up stories and this and that and the other thing. And, okay, stop. Okay. And so then I felt like I needed to do another one. And this is the thing. I really thought I would only do one. So, and it wasn't right away. I'll look right here. It wasn't right away. I have the one where, okay, the one that Bombshell Reloaded showed was this one with a picture of the turtle and the beard and the Coke and the blunt. So I decided to use that as my thumbnail. The next day, as you can see, I just went on and did my little covering different things of the protest and Alex Preddy. So it was 2 days later, and, or no, the one we just heard was the one, okay, apparently it was the next day because Bombshell Reloaded did this one, and that's it. That's all she showed. And that's fine. I don't expect her to play all my videos. You just heard this one where I'm in the gray in the motel. Yeah, see, and then the next day, next 2 days, I did Alex Preddy's shooting. That's him. I have the whole thing right there in slow motion. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it. You've seen slow motion, but you haven't seen it up close like this one woman has, and she's in hiding. They're trying to find her. So I showed that. I showed that, and then there was that the next day. Yeah, and then that, and then I just showed this, and then the very next day I did another one, and that's another picture of me when my hair was long in the motel. I was taking those pictures myself to send to him when I wasn't seeing him. Not a lot, you know, I'm dressed, whatever. And yeah. So this is this one. This one, okay, doing this because of the 3 followers is the one you just saw. This one is after her post. Why do we have to have these commercials?
Mix, match,
Can't
or happy
stand them.
with game.
Now, there's parts where in the middle I've covered up, I've touched the speaker, is what I'm trying to say.
Good morning.
It's early.
Good morning.
I'm a little tired. And I
I'm
tell
about 8 in the morning here.
more
I
detail.
went to bed earlier.
This one is a little more
and
detail.
I feel like I need to set the record straight.
Again.
First of all, hi Mary Jane Doe. This shouldn't be too long. I'm talking kind of quiet. My daughter might be still asleep. This is the thing. First and foremost, if I was a scorned, jealous lady hag, as she likes to call me and many other older people, and I looked at Sierra Queen Pin Clark's playlist. You guys should go over there and check it out. It's pretty amazing. I thought I saw all of her texts. How PJ, for the first 2 years, put down that poor man. Hi, Martin Rowe. So I'm talking about this because, well, it needs to be said. So if I was that upset about, the visit and all of this, wouldn't I have done all this and stuck up for myself and talked about this 2 years ago? Think about it. She's the one that was throwing my name in there and just had to put a thumbnail up of it's supposed to be me and Sierra, which doesn't look like either of us at all. And then she proceeded at the end. Yeah, thank you, Dodie. Thank you. She proceeded at the end of her live to literally nearly beg me for receipts. Usually it's just denial, and shove everything under the rug. No, she was like, I want to see receipts. So that's what I did. Now, I read the messenger, but then some of her followers were harassing me.
I'm touching the speaker. I don't even know it.
So I could turn my comments off. And so I sent more receipts. Thank you, Dodie. Thank you. Yeah, enough is enough. It's ridiculous.
Every now and
She
then
thinks
you'll
she's
hear
had enough.
scratch
Are you
noises.
kidding? I have been stifled for 2.5 years. And
Sorry about that.
for all I
It'll
know,
stop pretty
all the
soon.
stress and anxiety of keeping things quiet for so long. We're not talking a few weeks or a few months. For a long time. Okay? Our talking on Messenger.
Somebody lets me know.
Does with the videos. Yeah, I said it. I'm spilling more tea. Okay, the only other person I did anything like that with in my entire life was not there. And that's because he's the truck driver.
I'm
And,
touching the speaker, but the whole video isn't like this.
that kind of thing out there. I won't admit it. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. Why should I be afraid?
So I never brought videos up
Please,
or pictures, you guys, until this, the third video.
think about it. And they're asking for, first it's pictures and then it's videos. I mean, it was fun while it lasted, and I'm fine today. I'm totally fine.
Oh,
I mean, if you look at I've been doing lives lately. I don't care about this anymore. I don't care. Okay, Jimmy's changed. He's changed. He says he's the same person as Dolly Vision. He's not. He is a different person. I mean, lots of people say he's changed. Team Rose typed it in my messenger yesterday and said he's changed. And we talked a little bit. She brought him up because of Ice. So, yeah, he's not the same person. Okay? So let's see. Where was I going with this? So, any women out there? Lindsay, which is maybe Rock This Girl, I'm not quite sure. Nissa.
Of course, my son has to knock again for something. And he's not little, he's 30. But he's got issues. He has zero patience, not very good boundaries.
All right. Who else is there?
Oh, God.
Sierra. 3 different times. Me. 3 times in one visit. I gave you guys proof. I didn't take pictures, but yeah, my thumbnail is me taking a picture of myself to send to Jimmy. Big deal. I was down there. And this is a thing. Because he never was forthright and said they were on and off to me, why can't I continue being a friend and maybe more with him? They weren't married. They weren't solid in his eyes. You know? And it was only a very few months after they started dating. Think about it, you guys. They start dating, what, December 5th? She likes to say they're official. Okay, we got 1 month that goes by, January, then February, and the end of March. He reached out to me. WYD, what you doing? And I was flattered, but I was mostly shocked. And if I had any inkling he had a girlfriend, I mean, that's why I was so shocked, because I figured he did. And out of what? Thousands of women, or 100, or people that he knows, or knows from the town even, or what? I just figured he was kind of lonely. But the thing is, he reeled me in. I mean, literally, kind of like I was a fish or something. He reeled me in. And this isn't bashing Jimmy. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that was his character back then. And he liked to have control. Okay? When I did these little videos for him, he would tell me what he wanted me to do. I'm not making any of this up. I've never had a man tell me when he's pleasing himself to lick my fingers. You know, I've never, ever had anyone do that. Yeah, we're both adults. So, you know, it was kind of neat or whatever. Now, I know, laugh emojis. Well, and he asked me to do something else too, but I don't want to embarrass him. I don't think what I've said so far has, but I'm not going to say the other thing he asked me to do, and I was actually willing to do it. So, everything I stated about their relationship isn't made up, nothing like that, because I've been talking to someone, and I won't say who, but very, very, very close to him. So everything I said about their past, him having to change the locks, him feeling like he had to get her that ring, which he verbally fought against. You know, oh, now you're putting the pressure on me, blah, 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 okay? She can think they're happily engaged, and in fact, after all this weirdness for 3 days, maybe they really, really are now. I don't know. If he's happy, honestly, if he is happy more of the time than not, because I know all relationships have problems. Yeah, I saw the messages. I mean, they're just talking along, and then Sierra's like, what? Why are you mad at him, or whatever? And she's like, oh, why are you asking so much? It seems like you're just waiting on the side to be with him again. That shocked me. She knows she's insecure, and that's the way it goes. But again, if he's happy, if they're happy 75% of the time, let's say, and 25 they have problems, and she
God damn.
and he has to explain or repeat.
God, this ever happens again, let me
give her the
know.
cold shoulder,
I'm covering my
you know, like in the
speaker,
past.
the dang iPad.
Okay,
Oh,
well then that's good, isn't it? That's good. So, yeah.
oh, it's driving me nuts
I was
too.
curious if she wrote a post about me or even Sierra. And she did. And I read all the comments. And I understand people have issues as they're getting to know each other in the beginning. And she found what? Her perfect YouTuber? She was a mod for Univog for a while. That was the name I was searching for before. And then whatever that guy's name is.
I'm holding the
Thank you so much.
iPad and my...
What is it? Not Amin, but whatever his name is. The one that
God dang it.
I believe was married. And she saw him for a while. And then, let's not forget, before all that, her husband moved out while she was at work. She admitted that to Sierra. I saw that last night at Tess. I was not planning on doing another live. I thought it was. Didn't I have done one yesterday talking about Jane? No. I'm moving on to how I feel about ICE protest. And I think it's extremely important. And I think it's amazing that so many people are out there in this really cold weather, which you Southerners are getting a taste of. And they were in front of the Hilton Suites where these ICE agents were trying to sleep, and they were relentless on making noise in any way they could. And that got really intense. And one of them ordered, I guess, probably DoorDash or something. And the door.
Okay, I'm gonna go over that, past that.
Rock this girl, Sierra, myself, Nissa, and even possibly someone he could be video chatting, if you know what I mean, or whatever now. It's a pattern. He is a player, or he was. Maybe he isn't anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe he's doing those
See?
um,
This is what I wanted
things to do when
Bombshell
you grow up.
Reloaded to
Things, adding
hear.
things, you know, he fixed up his house. He
See,
did all
maybe
these
he's
things.
grown up. Okay? Thank
I
you
don't honestly believe, I'm
for the
just gonna say this.
$1.49
I don't honestly
super chat.
believe
It's really
if he
sweet.
didn't have his heart attack, he would have let her just live there. Serial cheaters, his marriage.
That's just my personal
Well,
belief.
this is the thing. You know, he just wasn't forthright with me. And I talked to him into a year ago, you guys. Think about that.
See,
Think about that. There's a little more coming for you.
the whole year before, which I didn't
3
even.
months after we started dating, he stayed in touch with me all the way until last year.
This is why I did another live about the same length because
Because we haven't talked now.
it was so damn scratchy. And I wasn't even going to. In fact, I commented, I listened back, you can hear most of it. But then I got another comment from someone else and also in my messenger. And I was like, crap. All right, I'm just going to do another one. So I went through and the parts that were all muffled, like the timeline, how many months we talked, and I explained that in detail. That's on the next one. Because this is the thing, you guys. I mean, until all of the whole last year, the first, so that's 2.5 years, so a year and a half from the beginning of when he was seeing PJ, minus the 3 months that he wasn't talking to me, he was talking to me. So in essence, if you think about it, he had both of us for the entire first year and a half. And she's still with him. And now she's just finding out this stuff. So it's not just me going down there having a fling and I should get over it. I'm over it. I've been over it. I bowed out of going over to his channel. I never ever thought I'd get to be up on his panel again. And again, I just want him to be happy. But when she calls him man-child on her lives, okay, on her lives, behind his back, and oh, he's a baby, but I love him, or the other one is really not very nice, a fainting goat. Like, who does that? Now, people say things, but on the internet, like that, and that's why, you know, Jimmy isn't addressing this. He isn't addressing this because it wasn't just a quick fling. I'm not saying that, you know, he was falling for me and, you know, lining things up for me. I'm just saying it was an ongoing thing. And the thing with Sierra, you guys want some tea? Here's some tea, and she's told you guys this, but nobody wants to listen. She saw him this past summer. She really, truly did. So, you know, it's whatever. Now, maybe because all of this is out in the open, he won't be sort of a player anymore. And but you know, this is the thing too, and this is why I cut him so much slack, is he's never really had serious relationships except maybe one gal he really liked in high school. And also his father's passed away. He didn't have that role model of a man. Allegedly, I'm pretty sure Jimmy said this. when we were all on panel once. He said his father was in prison, and now he's gone. He never really knew his dad. So, that explains some of the can be with someone and then dismiss them, or be with someone and he wants something too, but then he's not saying no to something else, and he's having help from PJ with his business and making money. And do you know what I mean? But he didn't want to end things with me, even when I got back from the visit. So it's not cut and dry like Bombshell Reloaded wants to let everyone think. Is it cut and dry now? Heck yeah. I mean, I don't think he hates me, because I know he did care for me for that 2.5 years. We stayed in touch and talked. I mean, 2.5, or no, 1.5, sorry, because it's 2.5 now. It'll be 3 years that I've even ever heard the name, this August. And this kind of deal. But I'm okay. He's obviously fine. I go over to his lives just wondering if if PJ has made him say something yet, right? Now, I'm just gonna say this once and we're gonna squash this, and I've never met PCT. Okay, PJ, you good now, babe, or whatever, right? No. You notice he's zipped his mouth. A, he probably doesn't want to hurt me. B, he knows he'd be lying. C, he probably doesn't really even care. Women get more emotionally drawn into things. And D, he's been through women shit. Missa trying to keep his dog from him. He had to go to court. All of that. I had no damn clue that anybody went with him to those courts, much less PJ. I didn't know. I did not know. They were so secretive about things. And so yeah. So here I am buying a free Lolo t-shirt and wearing turtle shirts and going up on his panel every night and all this stuff. Had no damn idea. But everyone else, apparently, the regular turtles that knew Dolly longer than me and that kind of thing, they all knew, apparently. I mean, it was strange. And even the thing with Mel's Pandora from the UK, I had no clue. I mean, I knew she thought he was probably cute or whatever. She was always wanting to go up on panel and she would giggle and have a British accent. Other than that, the only flirting I saw her do one time was like, oh, you can come over here and stay with me in the UK and I have a separate bedroom. She'd bring that up. And I was like, oh, that's pretty forward. That's what I'm thinking. It's probably what the audience was thinking. But as far as like if they texted each other or he asked her for a pic or something, I don't really know. But when all of that blew up on his show, he took everybody's wrench. Everybody's. Mine, Mel's Pandora, Wild Angel, and Mel's Pandora and her friends, I won't say all the names, they hightailed it out of there and were pissed. Called him names, blah, blah, blah. Call up on the phone and say, when are you going to let me come back? You didn't treat me right. And he'd be like, what? I just want an apology. Well, you don't deserve, click. I was the only one that didn't have any kind of problem with my wrench taken. And that's just facts. And I think Jimmy respected that, because I didn't. It's just a damn wrench, So anyway, Sierra told me that this past summer Jimmy sounded like he was having a panic attack. And I'm like, what? You know, because we leave voice messages on Messenger. And she said, yeah. He was like, oh my God, you know, I need you to come down here. And he sounded like he was having a panic attack. And she had to drive, we'll just say this, more than 2 hours, you know, to go down there. She was like, okay, or whatever. And then when she got there, it just transpired into the usual. Not smoking, because he doesn't do that, but the usual other stuff. And that's just facts, you guys. So for people to say, oh, it's just Tina and the pest, and he's different now. Okay, maybe he's been different for 7 months. Maybe he's changed his life. Again, this doesn't make him a bad person. He did not have the male role model to teach him how to, you know, that women, you know, we get it. Well, I don't know if we get attached more quicker and easier, but you know, and but he's very non-confrontational. And honestly, like the one little bit of peace, literal peace I can get from all this, you guys, is the fact that he's not going up there and going like with BHB. I can't remember what I did 4 days ago, much less, you know, blah, 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 and denying it outright like that. He's not talking about it. And that's because I know he cared for me at one point. Does he anymore? If she wasn't in the picture, I know he would be. I know he would be. And he knows how Sierra is with him. And then she'll come back and talk about it. Or not right away, she didn't, but a year later. And he still calls her and wants to get together, knowing she's open about being with him in 2022. And then what? Again in, was it 2023? And then what? In 2025. So Jimmy does what he wants. And maybe, bombshell reloaded, he has changed now. And all of that. And again, I just want people to be happy. You know, I loved Darren enough when we had been together so long, and he sprung it on me 4 days after Valentine's Day that he needed to talk to me. Like, he doesn't even talk like that. And I looked at him. He was at the house. We were sitting on the couch, and I said, this was a little over 3 years ago, and I said, are you breaking up with me? Just like that. And he said, yes. My lips started trembling, and I was like, you know, I just was in shock. I mean, this huge ass bear and a huge ass thing of chocolates and a nice Valentine's Day card. And he's breaking up with me after 8 years. I was just like blown away. And, but the thing is, you know, it's, I mean, he didn't feel like staying. This is what he told me when he talked to me later on, because I just let him go. I didn't run down the hole like in my 20s, you know, with a boyfriend. Oh, don't leave me, don't leave me. And, you know, I'm going to call the police and tell them you hit me. And I mean, I never said that, but people out there in the world do that stuff. They cling to their man. That's codependency, not interdependence. It's an unhealthy relationship. If you don't feel you can be happy without your man, like, this is to anybody and everybody out there. You're codependent. And that's a scary, supposed, because I learned this in New Beginnings classes for domestic violence. It's a scary place to be and dangerous. And so, yeah. And, so yeah, so, that's that one. And let me see, there might be one more.
In a year and
This
going
is-
on
This is all the scratching. What do I say after it? It's probably almost over.
Text too. I forgot all these things, but some of these texts were new. That Sierra, Queen Pin Clark, posted.
Oh, please.
Thank you. It was kind of addressed. Now it stopped. Oh my God, I can imagine. Was
See
it
this?
the whole thing? Because I had my hand
I'm
on the
like,
speaker.
I'm like, what the
Okay,
heck?
but you could hear me.
Oh, God.
Could you hear me though? Could you hear what I was saying? Couldn't really hear you at all from the beginning. Oh my goodness gracious.
I just find out that I was scratching all over.
Maybe I'll have to do another live and repeat all of it.
But I didn't want to.
Because
Oh my God.
just, good grief. So listen.
Just a little bit more.
Okay, thanks you guys so much. You heard most of it. Okay.
This was about, I think, 2 days
says,
ago.
Nope, couldn't hear you. Okay, well,
I made this in the morning.
I'm gonna end this now and see how crackly sounding it was. But again, you know, us older women that are in his chat, we don't deserve to be treated badly or called an old lady. Okay, intermediately. Okay, thanks you guys. Well, if I have to do another one, I'll wait until my daughter is fully awake. So it'll be in a little while if I have to do another one. Give a summary now. Oh my gosh, no, it's just, I don't know. Not even is, I know. So there you go. Was it crackly, but you could understand my words? That's what I need to know. Could you understand my words? I'm doing this because she made a post on me, and I'm letting her know that these last 2 lives I did. Okay, good. Thank you, Martin. The last 2 lives I did were in direct response to her asking for receipts. You don't think I couldn't have given these receipts last month, this past summer, 6 months before that, and beyond? She asked for it, you guys. Good grief. All right. Now for some truth is truth. Yeah. I mean, you know. Yeah, if she wants receipts, she should ask him. It's hers. Well, that's what I said when she was harassing me on Queen Bee's panel that time. I said, ask Jimmy. She hated it when I called him Jimmy. It's like, no, he's Dolly. Jimmy is just too close, whatever she said. I don't know. But when I said she hated me way back when I was on his panels, she typed that in Sierra's text. In fact, there was a screenshot of me and who are the other people? Luna and 2 other people. One didn't look that familiar. Oh, and then Jimmy is standing up with his blunt in his hand, the avatar, and she says, I hate them all. Okay? This is how kind of nutty she was And I wasn't even aware when I was on her panel or on his panel. I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know she was watching like that. I didn't know she hated me. I knew she was bothered that I wanted to come to Summer's memorial. But I just ignored her letter telling me what to do when everyone else could go. So the whole thing was weird, and it's in the past. And again, I just want him to be happy because he does deserve that. Do I agree with his antics on the protests? Like you Southerners say, or whoever's listening, hell to the nah, nah, nah. I never heard that before. You know. Yeah, insecure is an understatement, but she could better things in her life. Doesn't have to be a man, but some women have to have a man. Actually, when I was in my 40s, I had to have a man, and 30s and 20s. I always had to have a man. A boyfriend, a man, something. And that's why I covered there's codependence and there's interdependence. And I fully believe from what I've heard, seen, the interactions, on his lives in the past when she's sitting there and looking at him and not laughing at his jokes. Whatever, him trying to be funny.
That was in the beginning.
That they're codependent on each other, and that's not healthy. It's actually considered an unhealthy thing to be codependent. There's groups out there called Codependency No More, like AA. It's crazy. Look it up if you don't believe me. All right, this has been 32 minutes. Left couldn't stand to watch and be accused of being garbage. I hope you weren't called garbage. Gosh, MS0426. It's just, I have noticed though, lately, well, kind of since the so-called engagement ring thing, I've noticed that she's tapered down on attacking the women in chat. I have noticed that compared to 2 years ago. Okay, these are things that I experienced myself and saw. And, if Jimmy's gonna cheat on her and stay friends with people, he should at least come clean. But she believes she's engaged, and, they have weapons in that house. I mean, I don't, it's a scary situation because it used to be very volatile. Maybe it's not anymore. I don't know. But I wish Jimmy the best. And I'll end saying again, this all came about because she wanted receipts. So I gave them. She was taunting me in her members only live with me and Sierra on her thumbnail. This is why. But I'm okay. I'm not. I don't. I mean, I haven't cried over not being over there in 2 years. I mean, really, I haven't. The last time I cried over not being over there was 2 times when I just couldn't help it, and I was like, please, please, let me come back at least and chat. The longer I'm away, the worse it's going to be for me. And then when November and December, because he said, give it through the holiday. I thought that'd be Thanksgiving. And then Christmas rolled around, and we were still talking on Messenger. I wasn't harassing him. I wasn't even contacting him every week about it. I wasn't like, oh, come on, it's been 2 more days. Nothing like that. But 2 times I was crying because I just missed the whole thing of being over there, you know? But I was the one that walked away in the middle of January 2 years ago. She tried to say again on this recent post that he told me I couldn't come back. He never did, you guys. He thought it would just all die down. You know, that's what he does. He's non-confrontational in that way.
That's what he said to me too.
So,
just give it time, Tina.
This.
You'll
And
be
if I have
okay.
to do another one to get some points across, I will, but it'll be a little later. Thanks, everyone. My voice was kind of low because my daughter was sleeping. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Keith Hutesy. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Again, this wasn't planned either, but she has to make up continuous lies about me. You know, throws in her little, oh, I don't care. Her and Sierra, or whatever she said in these comments over on her post, just yesterday or today even, saying that it's a lie and it's fantasy land, or how did she word it? Made up fantasy land, whatever.
Stories, made up stories.
When you're so addicted to a person like she is with him and controlling, and you have to have what you have to have at all costs, I didn't expect her to leave, you guys. I didn't. None of us did. So now they're at the point, I guess, where she feels she needs him, he needs her, and I guess that's a good place to be, right? All right. Thanks for everyone being here. And, yeah, I'll talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye.
Oh my God. I'm barely awake. I'm surprised I got through that. It was pitch dark in my room. And I had just seen her post. It's 3 hours earlier here. Washington. Oh, what on earth? What is that? Oh, these commercials are driving me bonkers. Okay, so then there's that one. Oh my God. So, for just a quick 18 minutes is the last one I'm going to play. And this talks a little more about the timeline. Everything that was majorly scratched and muffled is repeated. So it's not 30 minutes, it's 18. And I basically just decided to name it Liaison Timeline, Intimate, Secretive / Romantic Context, because that is what a liaison is. And I think it's fitting, you know what I mean? It's not a damn affair, because, you know, he's not married. So it's not an affair.
Hello, I'll wait for the first person to hop in. This shouldn't be a long video. I'm waiting because I want to know if my sound is okay, if I'm glitching. I'm in the living room.
At least it's clear. And then after this, I'll just
So
end my
I
live.
feel like I have to whisper, but
Thank you for
All
people
right.
caring. You know, listening to my truth and validating my reality of the past.
before it starts glitching, I'm just gonna
Thank you.
have to repeat a few things. I am doing this because I got comments, not in this last one I did on this fiasco the last 3 days.
Maybe I can speed it
Because
up.
I had the comments turned off. Clear back in another one. So, and then I got some comments in Messenger.
I'll speed it
So
up a
I
little.
listened back and it was really, really muffled on 2 or 3 different little sections. And I'm going to repeat them here so that it's very clear and
Alright.
that I can feel validated with my entire truth.
So I'm 125
Okay,
speed now.
So, Jimmy reached out to me, Dolly Vision, the end of March in 2023. We continue talking a lot. Every week, every month, through up to August 2024. That is a year and 5 months. August 2024 is when I took the trip to Virginia. So of course, after talking to him on Messenger, sending videos and pics, first it was pics, then it ended up being videos. Of course, after a year and 5 months, I would want to meet the man. So in my eyes, this wasn't a little fling thing, okay? I didn't really think I'd really ever probably see him again after Virginia, but I was hopeful. You know, I was hopeful. And he did. He asked me if I could come back in a couple of weeks. I giggled and said, well, I don't have the money right now, but yeah, someday. So, anyway, that was the plan back then, before it got leaked all over the place. So after August, even though it was leaked, he was willing to stay in touch with me. Hi, Martin. These are just facts. He was. He was worried, scared, upset. But we stayed in touch. Not as much. Okay, not as much. Maybe like once a week or something like that. And that was for the next 4 months. The next 4 months after I got back from his birthday down there in Virginia, we stayed in touch. And that was until 2025 of December. I've looked the dates up on my Messenger, and when I showed our conversations in Messenger, everything's backwards from one iPad to another, but it literally said August. If you go look at it and read it, those of you that are doubting, it says backwards August 23rd, I believe it was. Let's see. I left on a Thursday. I got there on a Friday, in which his birthday is August 23rd, isn't it? So anyway, I might have been flying on his birthday and saw him the next day. I'm not sure. So the point of the video is it was very muffled in certain parts, and that's pretty important, you guys. So obviously he liked me. Obviously he found me attractive, even though I was older than him. Obviously he cared for me. Okay? He wanted to continue talking with me, and I did. And I did. Went ahead and we, you know, I sent him a few more videos. So I'm saying this because I didn't even realize it till I added up these months just now. But it's 1 year plus 5 months, and then 4 more months, which does equal not 2 years, but 21 months of constant contact in Messenger and being his friend, you guys. I mean, jeez. All the way up to while I was on his panel. Yeah. And then, or no, I got back, things got leaked, and I didn't get to go on his panel again. No, I did go on his panel. I got back in August, of course.
Oh my God.
And I was up on his panel September, probably every single evening, and October. And my last time ended up being Halloween, because it was sometime in early or late October, or no, the very beginning of November, that things got leaked out. Okay? And that's why he said, let's wait through the holiday. You can come, let things die down, wait for the holiday to go by. So I did. And then Christmas came, and then New Year's
Oh my
came.
God, this guy and his
And
NAS. His
We
NAS
were in
car.
contact. And about every week or 10 days, I'd be like,
Beats
can I at least come and chat?
through the
or
parking lot.
can I go to your other channel and talk? And he said to me, you made PJ real mad, or something like that. And he was upset. He wasn't all, happy-go-lucky with me for one of the times that we talked on there. He wasn't mean, but he just said, you made PJ real mad. That's what he said, real mad. And I typed, I'm sorry. I told Maria G, because she paid for my lodging, and I didn't mean for any of this to happen. And he could have said, I'm never going to speak to you again, and blah, 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 and this and that, and just written me off like he's done other women, you guys. And he didn't. He was nice. I said, are we still okay? And, he's busy. He didn't get back right away. So, of course, I'm thinking, oh, God, he's really mad. And then I'd be like, can you just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Anything, Jimmy. And he gave me a thumbs up. It was not down. Would I have been able to keep dancing and happy-go-lucky on my channel all those weeks and days after if he was pissed at me? No. In fact, I probably would have closed my whole channel down and just been embarrassed. And the other thing is Jimmy's used to this kind of stuff, right? Stealing with it with Missa, trying to keep the dog, and that kind of thing. So he's been through stuff before. Mary Jane Doe typed, and 7 months ago, and I was counting back, that's May. So it was either May or June sometime this past summer that Sierra did see him. And that's just facts. She sent me a picture of being right down there in that area. In that picture that she posted of being in his bathroom, and I mean, there's just reality out there. So the facts are that our stories aren't lies, you guys. They're not lies. There are truth in our reality. And this is the thing. I'm just going to end with this. Okay. Thank you, creatively inspired. Yeah, I mean, I'm just coming clean with all of it, and people sending pics and sending videos to people. I mean, I seriously, I was really nervous the very first time I did anything like that. And it was only a little darn flip phone, a different one that I had back with the boyfriend that I had named Dennis. And we went out for 4 years. And he was a truck driver. Well, he lived in Kent, near Seattle, would travel here to see me and this kind of thing. He had 2 little girls. And then he was moving to Idaho. First, he wanted me to move to Kent, and I knew I wasn't going to uproot Shaylin, while she's in school and all this, because this was 8 years with Darren, and this was 4 years before that. So we're looking at and then 3. Oh my gosh, we're looking at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago. Good grief. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense, because I was 51 and I'll be 64 in June. Yeah, when I was with Dennis. And he asked me to do that, and I was just like, well, for your eyes only, and this kind of deal. So nobody had asked me to do that. Of course, there's no reason for Darren to ask me, because we were seeing each other, So I just want to say this, okay? I just want to make sure I say the right thing in this kind of deal, and hopefully we're all done with all this craziness between my last video a little while ago here and this one. He denied BHB, by saying, I can't remember what I did 4 days ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever. He hasn't publicly denied me or Sierra. He hasn't. And that's because he's seen Sierra 3 times since, I believe, 2022. And you already know the history that he and I had on Messenger, and then in person, finally, 2 years ago. So this was not, okay? This was not some little fling thing. And then he got, just dumped my ass as a friend, or even a person that he cared about or was even attracted to when we got back. And even after the shit hit the fan, he was willing to keep things going, clear up until 1 year ago. So if Jimmy denies this on a live, which I don't really think he'll do, we have a little bit in common, not really the horror, but, he knows somebody with special needs, and my son is special needs, and, neither of us are in our 20s or 30s or even 40s. Well, and now we have in common, we both had probably a stress-induced heart attack. Maybe his was stress-induced. I don't know. But we had to keep things bottled in. So I hope he doesn't deny me and what we had in our friendship. But if he does, I'm telling you, it's a lie. And I'm telling you that she put him up to it because he would much rather not say anything. And maybe not now. Maybe he hates my guts now. I don't know. But he understands the internet, and he also knows that it takes two. And he also knows that he reached out to me first. I didn't even know what flipping DMs were. I didn't even know that meant with Messenger. I didn't even know what WYD meant. What you doing? I had to type him back, and I was LOL. What does that mean? Like I was just, the whole thing was a good time for me. I believe a good time for him. I think honestly he was kind of lonely back then, and being up all night then, and her not even living there then at that time. I think he was lonely, you know? And I adored Jimmy, and I was falling for him, and everybody knew it and saw it, but I also thought he was single. All right, enough of that. I'm kind of tired. I need to have some coffee. And I'm going to end this, you guys. If anyone's in chat. Hi, thanks, you guys. Thanks for coming in. All right. So have a great day, and I'm going to have a regular show of what's going on in Minnesota, but I don't just stream the protest. Okay? All right. Thanks, you guys. Thanks so much. Thanks to my new friends on here. Love you guys. Bye for now.
Oh my God. Look at Walls' face. Look at his face.
Joining me now is Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
What's going on?
Walz met with the White House borders, our Tom Homan today, who was dispatched to
Oh
Minneapolis.
God, let's hear this.
It's the governor's first television interview since Alex Brady was killed.
Because Homan's involved. Let's hear this.
Minnesota, yeah. First of all, the meeting with Tom Homan, how did that go? What are your thoughts on it?
This is today.
Tom Homan's a professional, which is a lot more than Bovino and Christy Nome. But look, I think the thing we said is we're very clear about this, that we need these folks out of Minnesota, and we need justice for Renee Good and for Alex, and those were things that we came with. I think the thing that I'm most concerned about is the tone was different. There was a tone shift. I wish it was because of the horrific, shooting that somebody saw some morality, but I think it's probably the press. But with that being said, I'm not interested in a more efficient Metro surge. I'm ready for them to get out of here, and I think that's what Minnesotans are talking about. So it was progress. Look, I never got a call from Bovino or Nome. Nothing. When they're coming here, and Tom Homan landed last night, and he called me last night and asked if we could have a meeting, and he was there at 9 o'clock. So, look, I think that's progress, but they started this fire, so we're not giving anybody credit for putting it out. But right now, what we need is a return to normalcy by these ICE agents out of here. And you talked about this in all those meetings with the White House and with Tom Homan and his team. Nobody asked about Alex or his family, so I appreciate you bringing that up.
Wow.
This family going through the horror of losing their son, and then also to see him slandered like that.
It's not only slandered. I'm slandered by the top officials
in the world,
the
the most
administration.
powerful people in the world.
Yeah,
not
calling
taking
him
back
a
for one
massacre
day,
of federal
certain
agents.
stations, that's all they were running, and that's one of the problems here.
Disgusting.
Look, Minnesota, they came here. We we don't have near the undocumented folks that many other states do. Minnesota's a well-run state. Minnesota's a place where people get along. We welcome immigrant community, and they brought this down on us. And I think you're here, Anderson. You're telling your folks it's a siege. It's a siege in all respects. We have children being pulled from their parents. We have elderly people being drug out in this type of cold with no clothes.
Yep.
It's just absolute.
In their
cruelty.
boxers, no shirt.
That they came here to Minnesota.
Yes, well, there's no other facts for it. They've changed why they're here. Donald Trump himself said, I won that state 3 times. He did. And then I get a letter the other day from Pan Bondi demanding our voting records in this. And
Oh
kind of
my
like,
God.
well, we'll send these people out of here if you do that.
But there was an implication, quid pro quo in that.
Oh, exactly. Amateurish, but that's what they're doing. And they're
This
never
was
gonna get this.
Saturday.
And states control
Thank
that.
God
10th
it's not
Amendment. You're saying all
happening
the
now.
contradictions. I appreciate you saying this. Second Amendment, 10th Amendment, everything else that is no longer there. But the one thing I can say is that come out of this, and you've seen it, the strength of the people of Minnesota, the decency of Americans, the ability to care for their neighbors, to be out there, that will last a lot longer than this administration. But I just say right now, it's very disheartening to me to see the president say Kristi Noem's doing a great job. I'm not sure there's been anybody more incompetent or cruel that's ever served in a cabinet position than her. And this is
Facts.
on her. And look, we need to know who these people were. We need these guys brought back here.
Well, that's the thing. I mean,
We showed up to do an investigation, and
Right.
we're not allowed onto the site.
in any normal
Not
situation,
allowed on the
your
site.
state investigators
The best.
would be on the scene, would be
Correct.
working the crime scene, would be in charge
Will you
of
put the
things, or at least
disclaimer
working
in,
with
Mary
federal law
Jane
enforcement.
Doe?
They've developed the trust
Please?
of the people here and what they come up with. They
I
don't
mean,
make any
copyright,
judgments on it. They turn it over a grand
whatever the
jury,
hell
they
it's
bring
called.
indictments.
Has Tom Homan made any indication that?
Thank
that'd be
you,
something
hon.
He said he would call Cash Patel about it. I asked him, I said, that's one of our demands that this happen. I also said, insult to injury. It's just like there's a cruelty that runs so deep it's hard to understand. They opened a federal investigation into Renee Good's wife. And that's still ongoing. And I said, look, you want
What?
to send some goodwill to the people of Minnesota, you need to drop that. But he indicated he would do that. I see the president say he might peel down a
Oh
little bit.
God, you guys.
When you deal with the
Wait.
president, and I said, I'm in a situation where people say, well, you got to give him something, you got to do something, don't anger him or whatever. It's pretty hard not to be angry when your citizens are being shot. It's pretty hard to be angry when you see the amateurs out here, wreaking havoc. And there's no purpose to this. And I think what's really important to tell Americans, Minnesotans believe in law and order. Minnesotans believe that we should have border control. Minnesotans believe in due process, though. And Minnesotans want to know, if you say you're going to get the worst of the worst, quit lying about who you're arresting. Tell us who you're arresting.
It is shocking just to see. I mean,
Yeah.
we've known for a long time that these guys are wearing masks, but it is now just an army of masked men
Yes.
who seem to be acting with impunity and seem to be. I mean, I can't tell you how many of their videos there are of them
Look at that.
cursing out people.
Look
Look
at that
the cruelty
shit.
event up at the Whipple building. If you went up there, the federal building. where they're
Breaking
stationed,
windows when
they come out
people
to
are
get in their car and
frightened
they
to
talk
open
these
their
folks, and we
doors.
finally got to the point where we have to keep
Oh,
order,
that
and it's
fucking
very difficult
angers
when they're
me.
undermining order. They create this chaos. And
Thank
we
you,
have to come
Mary
in and clean
Jane.
it up. So we took over the security of that building. When I say we, the state and the National Guard. So instead of those
Fuck.
scenes up there you saw of just chaos and smoke grenades or whatever, you saw National Guard with uniforms on with their names, no mask, handing out donuts, hot chocolate, and coffee. And today I got a request from the
Yes.
protesters up there if they could deliver homemade food to the National Guard who are away from their homes. That's the way this is supposed to work. These are your neighbors. We
Oh,
have a group
God,
of folks
you
here,
guys.
mercenaries, who are
Fucking
told, "We're the
tackling
enemy."
women.
They're kitted up like they're in Afghanistan.
Or
to do these
were.
things. They take
They
7
were.
people to throw Alex on the ground and then shoot him. It's insane, and I appreciate all the news media that here is telling it, and tell the rest of the country, stand with us on this. This is a stand we have to hold on. They have to leave here. They have to bring these folks to justice, and they have to be some accountability to the top levels. Kristi Noem still having a job
Oh,
today
you're
is
welcome.
absolutely
Well, I haven't seen
outrageous.
this either.
Administration seemingly in cleanup mode over the killing of ICU nurse Alex Preddy. To people here, though, the cleanup is not what's wanted. Coming clean is, and signaling a
Yes.
course correction, if that's what the president is in fact now
Poor
doing,
man.
is
I
not
feel
the
like
same as doing
crying.
the right thing. With that in mind, here's the president in neighboring Iowa this evening talking about the new official he sent here and the change he expects to see.
We have Tom Homan there now. We put him in there. He's great. And they met with the governor, the mayor, everybody else, and we're going to de-escalate a little bit.
De-escalate a little bit.
De-escalate a little bit, he said. That's the president talking to a Fox host about bringing in his border czar Tom Homan to oversee the federal operation here and removing border official Gregory Bovino. The host, Will Kane, followed up with this.
Is this a pullback?
I don't think it's a pullback. It's a little bit of a change. Everybody in this room that has a business, you make little changes. Bovino's very good, but he's a pretty out there kind of a guy, and in some cases that's good. Maybe it wasn't good here.
Trump is hilarious. Even though I can't stand him, he makes me laugh sometimes.
And Homan is in. And before leaving for Iowa, the president also seemed to promise answers and accountability in the wake of what Bovino's men did to Alex Preddy.
He's an out there kind of guy.
We're doing a big investigation. I want to keep the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want to
be watching. I'm going to be watching over it.
Well, keeping them honest, though, we've already learned that the investigation will be solely in the hands of the Department of Homeland
Okay, I'm
Security,
showing this
the Justice
next.
Department, nor the
And even
FBI
though some of
will be
you love
involved,
ICE,
and nor
I'm
from the
showing
state.
that
When asked
video
about
in
DHS
slow
Secretary Kristi Noem, the
motion
president today said she was
next.
doing a, quote, very good job. Tonight, though, House
Then I'm
Democratic
gonna end
Leader
my
Keith
life.
Jeffries is calling for her firing. Republican
I mean,
senators
'cause
Lisa
it's in
Murkowski and
slow
Thom Tillis
motion.
are also calling for her departure. They're the first senators from their party to do so. Murkowski is saying it was, quote, probably time for her to go. Senator Tillis, when asked if he had confidence in Secretary Noem, said, quote, no, not at all. I think she should go. He later softened his remarks, but only slightly.
Senator, do you have confidence in Secretary Noem?
Not at all.
But do you think Noem should step down?
I think Noem needs to decide what, I think if Noem looks at her body of work, I could not be. If I were in her position, I can't think of any point in pride over the last year. She's got to make her own decision, or the president does, but she has taken this administration into the ground on an issue that we should own.
He's a Republican, I think, isn't he?
Tillis also laid as the president's deputy chief of staff and ultimate point man on immigration and deportation.
Stephen Miller never fails to live up to my expectations of incompetence. I can tell you, if I were president, neither one of them would be in Washington right now.
Never fails to be
Senator Miller,
incompetent.
as far as
Isn't
weighing
that
in well tonight,
hilarious?
Part about the basis for this inaccurate statement, which both Secretary Noem and Gregory Bovino read just hours after Alex Preddy's killing.
An individual
approached
U.S.
U.S.
Border Patrol
officers
with a 9mm
semi-automatic handgun.
God.
The officers attempted to
The
disarm
agents
this
attempted
individual,
to disarm the
but the
individual,
armed suspect
but he
reacted
violently resisted, fearing for his life and the lives and safety of fellow officers.
An agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately.
Delivered
Lies.
medical aid to the subject, but the subject was pronounced dead at the scene.
This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict max.
Okay, I'm going to continue that, but I've got to say this. The next video I'm showing of slow motion up close. So you'll literally see the gun was taken from him and instantly he was shot 6 times, and this same ICE agent literally executed him even more, and why, I don't know. 6 shots into him, and he backed up and did 4 more. Okay, that is murder. And it's almost like, okay, I'm going to shoot you 6 times while you're on the ground with agents holding you down, of course, and I'm going to make sure you're dead. So guess what? There was a paramedic person that knew CPR and stuff. I found out just the other day that they wouldn't let him just run over and help. And it took him 46 seconds, almost a minute, to get over there. When they finally did, that's after they repeatedly asked that man to prove he was a physician. Can you believe that? I mean, well, I do believe it, but I'm just saying that's insanity, and so is this. I'm sorry.
Maximum damage.
Where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
This individual went and impeded their law enforcement operations, attacked those officers, had a weapon on him, and multiple dozens of rounds of ammunition.
That was
Wishing
taken
to
from
inflict
him.
harm on these officers, coming brandishing like
Ass
that
wipe.
and impeding their work that they were doing.
Stand her.
If either of these public officials had an ounce of decency, they would call up Alex Pretty's parents and apologize. Stephen Miller, for his part, called Alex Pretty a would-be assassin, also domestic terrorist. Tonight, though, he is saying this, quoting now, "The initial statement from DHS was based on reports from CBP on the ground. Additionally, the White House provided clear guidance to DHS that the extra personnel that have been sent to Minnesota for force protection should be used for conducting fugitive operations to create a physical barrier between the arrest teams and the disruptors. We are evaluating why the CBP team may not have been following that protocol." The words, "I'm sorry and I was wrong," were not included.
Good grief. I am serious. All right. This is the third time I've shown this because for some odd reason, nobody has this footage. I'm telling you right now, they don't. I've looked on umpteen news channels. They have little parts slowed down from far away. There was this man filming from his car. But this woman that filmed this, she's in hiding. And supposedly they're trying to find her. Because the footage is so profound and intense and yeah.
Some of the main ROIs on
Oh,
Mikhailska
what the
itself,
hell
as
is
we
this?
implemented this,
Just
I would
a
say
minute.
taking our heat detection from probably 55% and raising it to 65
How do
to
I
70,
get on this
and then
page?
decreasing our days open for the herd.
Oh God, you guys. What the heck? What is this?
Well, welcome everyone. Thanks for being here for this impromptu conversation. Impromptu as it might be,
This
still
is my
incredibly
the
important as we're
same
speaking
page
to
I
an
was
issue
on.
that is
Just a
significant,
minute.
profound for everyone in the state of Minnesota.
Okay, I'm
Anyone
sorry.
who's watched 2 seconds of the news or kept their eyes open know that we are in a moment of
Oh
profound crisis,
Lord, just a second.
where we are struggling to make sense out of what is happening to us in the state of Minnesota because of decisions made by the federal government. I'm talking obviously about the presence of ICE throughout the state and some of our sort of collective struggles trying to figure out what exactly they're doing
Okay,
and why
it's
they're
this
here.
one.
One thing that has been missing from a lot of that conversation
Okay,
is
let
the
me turn this
consequences
off.
of some of these actions on the whole state. And more specifically on
Woman today who was dispatched to Minneapolis.
What's
in the wake of
going on?
Saturday's
Just a
fatal shooting.
minute.
The governor's first television interview since
Okay, you
Alex
know what
Pretty's
I'm
death.
gonna
Appreciate
do?
you being here. I'm sorry to make you stand.
I'm gonna reboot my iPad because this is redonkulous. Whoops, no, not that. I'm trying to turn my iPad off. No, I'm not. What on earth? Okay, just a minute. Okay, it's shutting down really quick. I'm gonna turn it on and get right to it, and then I'm gonna end my live. Or I'll say hi to people in chat, and then I'll end my live. Oh, this is an Amazon iPad. The Apple is the one I do my channels on. Oh, put your links in chat. Sierra Queen Pin Clark, and Luna Moon has a channel, and anyone else that does. Okay, hold on. We're gonna get this going. Okay, hitting on history, and I'm gonna pull it up down here, and it's way down here. Thank you. Oh God, I'm down to 5% battery. Okay, I gotta plug that in. Oh, fiddlesticks. Okay. Okay. I wonder if ICE is still in Maine. Does anybody know? All right. I'm in the right week or whatever I'm in. Oh, does anybody know? Apparently they're heading to Florida, Orlando. My friend Shannon, who lives there, told me that. Why does it just go up to the 25th? Okay, no, here it is. All right, I found it. Please don't leave. You've got to see this if you haven't seen this video. Okay, here it is. It's in purple. Found it. Okay, just give me 1 second to pull it up. Trigger warning in chat, please. This is Alex Preddy. A picture of him in the very beginning. The black hat and the jacket. Here we go. Are you guys here? There's 63 people. I'm down to 3%. I'm going to start this and plug in... No, I better... Let me just... Oops, crap. Let me plug this charger in. It's about, what is it, 13 minutes or whatever it is. Yeah. You guys still with me here? Oh, Lord. Okay, let me close. All right, here we go. I have to set this thing upright on the cord, but hopefully it'll balance. There we go. All right, here we go. Trigger warning in chat. Please, I mean. Oh, I gotta start it from the beginning. Okay, and it's loud. Damn it. Fuck. Excuse my language. Oh my God, my iPad just fell. All right, hold on. I gotta upright hopefully my iPad didn't break. Oh my guys, shit. That's scary. Now it has to be upright. Because I'm on YouTube Live. I'm not on, maybe I can lean it back and then go like this. It looks like I'm gonna have to make this higher. Just a minute. Let me grab. Oh, friggin' A. Oh, you guys. Okay, are you still here? There. I'm gonna not have that one thing there. Okay, what happened? Oh, the camera went off that one time. Oh, fiddlesticks. Let me get a couple more books. I'm doing all this because it's worth it. What is... Here we go. Here we go. It's sad. We've seen it all over the news, but you haven't seen it like this. I'll tell you that right now. And this is the biggest that it'll be, but you will see what happens. All right, it says slow down video. Okay. And it shows the shots in slow motion. I need 2 more books. This is flippin' redonkulous. But I do. All you people that have nice, easy setups, you're lucky. Feel free to tip your hostess with the mostess if you want to. There we go. Thank you. Okay, that says sprayed with chemical irritant. The poor man doesn't know in less than 10 seconds he'll be dead. Sprayed with chemical irritant again. I'm reading that because it's backwards for you guys. All he's trying to do is grab that woman and himself and get him out of harm's way across the street. That's what he's doing. Now see that guy in the white gloves? See him right there in the blue jeans and the white sneakers? He's the one that ends up shooting him. See, look. Look at that. He pulled out his gun right there. Or no, his, looks like, well, I guess it's not. Another channel tried to say, his gun is in his holster. This is who ends up shooting him, right there. Yep. Yep. Okay, we're holding him down at the moment. An officer decides to pull his gun. If that isn't overkill, I don't know what is, folks. Victim was still on the ground, and they fired 4 additional shots. That guy in the white gloves.
What the fuck did you just do? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Now the guy that shot is still in the middle of the road because I had my eye on him. Before a single federal agent went up to the man they had just shot.
Somebody call the ambulance. Somebody call the ambulance.
Okay, the shooter is in front of the white car, standing there not knowing what the hell to do.
I can't believe they just did that. Holy shit. Holy shit. Just, come on. Come on.
Wait, is he the shooter or the other guy? The shooter had white gloves on.
You're
Where's the shooter with the white gloves? Is he the one trying to hold her off? Oh, that's him. Right there. That's the shooter. See? There he was in the middle. That was the shooter. So anyway, when that came up on my drop site, see, they talk about it and break it down. It's drop site news. I was like, oh my gosh. Anyway, that's done with. His poor parents hopefully haven't been really watching the news. They want us to remember how we lived, not how we died. Oh, the cord didn't come out. Okay, I thought the cord came out. So I'm going to turn this little light on, say a quick hello, and then a goodbye. Oh dear, and then we'll go from there. Look at that, my closet. Honestly, it's organized, believe it or not. Like, after my mom passed away, I kind of purged everything out. You know, like my past is purging, so if that even makes sense. But how come I can't pull up the chat? Well, it's been an hour and 90 minutes. You guys, I think I'll just go. But this... Oh, right, Nanya Business. How are you? Wow, that's been a long time since I've seen you. You know, this is what I mean. I mean, I watch back all my lives, you guys, and more than likely, you know, there's going to be people saying, why are you doing this again? And all this about the Dolly Vision thing. But I needed to be heard. And I need it to be understood. And there will still be people out there that don't. But unless somebody does some horrible, mean thing to me, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. When I say horrible, mean, I mean like if she does another, you know, stupid post, or not stupid post, but another post. Because apparently while I was watching Bombshell Reloaded, she did had to put up a post and say that I'm, what did she say? Making up stories and whatever. So I get it. You're going to be in denial. You're going to sweep things under the rug, because if she doesn't, she'll freaking snap. His life will be in jeopardy. And, yeah. Why do you think he's always joking? But he says it so much. I'll get stabbed in the neck. I'll get shot in the neck. I'll get whatever. Don't get PJ mad at me. I mean, he talks like he's an abused man. Just going to say it. In that relationship for months. Yes, does she do a lot for him? Is he perfect with her? No. But I've heard fear in his voice before. Not a lot, not often, but I've heard it. Yeah, so I'm gonna go, and thank you everybody for being here. I wonder what it would look like on both sides. I don't know. Well, we'll see. There, that's kind of interesting, huh? God. I have no idea what kind of highlights come up in my shorts. They're just, it's YouTube or AI or somebody picks them. You know, so my highlights, I didn't pick. So I just, you know, try to figure out a title or whatever. And I want you guys to know that too. So the finger thing, you know, that, I didn't pick it. I kind of surprised they put that up, but it's whatever. And the one when I got a pretty nice Cash App, or not pretty nice, a wonderful Cash App, pretty nice amount earlier, and I started crying. Like, not, but you know, I got pretty emotional because that'll cover my litter. And she even wrote a little note and said, "Here's for your cat." So I thought that was just so sweet and so kind. So, you know, if Mary Jane Doe, you want to put my Cash App in, that's nice. It's at Dakota Dame 0627. Dakota and Dame, D-A-M-E, D-A-M-E, are capital. And my PayPal is $papercut Tina. So, and you can become a guinea pig or a cat. Did I say guinea pig? Guinea pig. I don't even know what time it is, but I'm getting a little tired. Or a cat. The reason they're not like $1.99 or even $2.99, and I think the first one is $3.99, is YouTube told me, like, you know, you go into the studio and look at analytics and they type to you and write you things. That's what they told me I should start with. If I change it, my members will instantly, though apparently, because I looked into this, if you change the price before the 30 days, the people that are now members won't be members, but they get their money sent back to them somehow in their accounts. So I've been just leaving it. You know, I probably should change it. Maybe I'll get in there tonight and do it if I'm not too tired and just do it. But I don't want to mess things up for my members. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. But yeah, I have cute little emojis, and yeah, it's kind of in memoriam a little bit or whatever of the guinea pigs I had. Charlie passed away. Gosh, was he 8 or 9 years? And they lived 6 to 8. When was it? Not this past August, but the August before it. He passed away. You know, and then the other ones, because I always made sure that I would get another little one, a male one, so the one that friend that died, he wouldn't be alone, because guinea pigs, they don't thrive being alone. So if you can afford two, and they're not cheap, you have to buy the pellets, you got to buy the bedding, and you know, they're very it just makes me so sad to see people with one little guinea pig just by itself all the time in the cage, and thousands of people do that. And in my guinea pig book, it said that they get lonely easily, and they thrive and are a happier little guinea pig with a friend. It's something to think about. It really is. But they have to both be males, and they'll do their dominance dance, right? They'll go around and circle each other and jump on each other's backs like they're humping practically. And it can go on for 4 hours in a row with some squealing and everything. For me, it was just 45 minutes. And then they're not fighting or anything. They just sort of, I don't know, like Stormy held his own with Charlie. But it's funny. It's called a dominance dance, and it's like who's boss in the cage, right? But it's nothing bad or anything. I had guinea pigs for 13 years. And that all came about because our neighbor's little boy couldn't take care of his mom made him get rid of it. And because he lived here, I thought, well, he can come over and visit the guinea pig. And I think that was Cappuccino, our very first one. And he was crying, and he's special needs, and I felt so bad for him, but his mom wouldn't give in. And that is how I ended up with guinea pigs. I never had a hamster, never had a rat or mouse or whatever. Never. Didn't know what on earth I was doing. Got a guinea pig book, and yeah, the whole thing, because one will die and then the other needs, cardiomyopathy, or they get sick, but I was good. And it was a lot of cleaning cages, and it was intense. And 13 years is a long time. But anyway, in memoriam, I have that. Of course, as you guys know, I have cats and kittens, that 3 little girls, Sunshine, Tulip, and Rain. But they're 2 years, they turned 2 this past September. So they're October, November, December, January. 2 years and 4 months now. They're really funny. Tulip isn't in here right now. Like, sometimes I let him in. But my point is, if anyone wants to give me a Cash App or PayPal ever, or become a member, it'll help me every month meet my threshold. And then I can get paid by YouTube for the people that want to be members. And I've only been doing this for 3 months. And like I said earlier, I'm more outspoken about these things because everyone else is pinning stuff up. Like, help me reach my goal, and send money for this, send money for my traveling. And I don't mean just Dolly Vision. I mean, lots of people make money. So why can't I, right? And not everyone has money. And I get that. If you could even hit the like, that gets my channel out there more in the algorithm. So thanks everyone for being here. I got 76 likes. I got a cute little $1.50 super chat, and I don't even know who to thank because I looked up hours ago and it was there. So I'm going to look back through my live. Yeah, well, I try to entertain people. I do I think out of the box is what I do. I'm not like some beautiful movie in the beginning. I don't have an intro. Honestly, I don't want one. I mean, I could ask someone to make me an intro and send it to me. I don't want it. I like playing different tunes. I know they're not everybody's cup of tea, but they have some good beats, some good dancing beats. I've never had any dancing classes. I never thought I'd be doing this. But I know when I used to watch Truthfully Trisha, who's very out there and stuff. I don't know. I think her channel might be down. Last time I checked, she dances, but she dances in like negligees and stuff. I've seen that. But she says and does what she wants, She put her weight loss journey out there and whatever. And so I don't want to be like everyone else. I want to be different. So if you even come over here and just say hi, I really appreciate it, you guys, because especially with my family gone now, my sister, 8 days ago, oh God, I can't believe she's gone. And I haven't seen her since 2011, but we were texting while she was sick. We talked a little bit on the phone, but she didn't answer very much because she felt so awful. And she put herself on hospice, like practically right after Ann Horn put herself on hospice. And it was, and my sister passed within 2 days. And when a couple of her girlfriends were trying to contact me, I thought they knew she had passed. No, they thought she was still on hospice. I couldn't believe it. So I thought her husband had called them, and that's why they were contacting me. No, they were just worried about her. And I'm like, she's passed. She passed 2 days ago or whatever, and I was extremely close to my mom. And, I should say this. This is facts, you guys. The reason I didn't go visit my mom that summer is because she had company. She was healthy, from Vermont and Chicago. Now, I was going to go, because the memorial was canceled, right? You know, switch the whatever, the routes around. But it was so odd. She didn't want to tell me she had company. And when we would talk on the phone, she was like, well, Megan, you know, if this summer doesn't work out for you, it's okay. We have next summer, because that's how my mom talked. And then it just became, because she didn't want to say, I don't want to see you, you're my daughter. She didn't want to hurt me, right? But she didn't want to tell me she had company. And I said, and this is on their graves or ashes, wherever they are. I still don't know. I would think somewhere in Iowa. Or no, my sister would be in Missouri somewhere, my mom in Iowa. I said, Mom, my exact words, because I have a pretty good long time memory. What am I trying to say? Short term, long term memory. That's why I can remember details when I was 7 and things like this. It's my short term memory, and words are not just right there anymore. That's why I'll be like, what is that called? What is that called? But I said to her, I said, and the screen's moving around. I've got tremors, but I'm trying to hold it tight with my arms. I said, Mom, is there a part of you that doesn't want me to come this summer? You know, you're too busy. Or I said that to her on the phone, and she goes, well, you know, I've got some company coming, but I don't want you to feel like, and I said, no, Mom, it's okay. Not knowing that the next following year, she had a little stress-induced heart attack. I'd never even heard of that before. The broken heart syndrome, it's also called. And she was very upset and really worried about Ashley. I mean, her other daughter, 1 year younger than me, and took a trip by herself on those 2-lane roads with big-ass dump trucks and everything else. I was worried sick at the age of, what was she, 82. I was like, Mom, you know, can't Steve go with you? Or no, someone's got to be here with the cat. So she went down and stayed with Ashley for a whole week. And then she came back, and she had her little stress-induced heart attack, and like a day or 2 later, she had a stroke. But they let her go home in a couple of days from Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so we talked about heart disease, and she told me that one side of her heart was enlarged. And she asked me, she said, you know, since your stroke, because she doesn't know to this day, I had my stress-induced heart attack this past April and February, 5 months before that. She passed in February, or February, March, April, no, 11 months ago. She died. And I said, I don't think I have an enlarged heart. No, they didn't tell me any of that. And she said, Megan, my mother had an enlarged half of her heart, and I do. So, you know, now you know that. And so it's very weird. But when I had all my tests done, it was sometime in December, or no, it could have been the beginning of January. I think it was January. Anyway, they took 100 pictures of my heart, and I have, the atrium is swollen. Great, huh? So I don't have, what is it called? Something scosis, or something where tubes or veins are enlarged, but my atrium is swollen. And, but he said for my age, having a stroke in 2020 and my stress-induced heart attack this past April, that my heart looks really good and it's pumping really good. But I'm here to say that I assumed, right, because I didn't have any blockage, I thought my ejection fraction, which is the numbers the blood pumps, would be 75. That's perfect. Well, why not, right? I don't know. I just assumed it. I'm not 80 or 90. I'm not even 70. I'm not even 65 yet. But my found out that like 30 up to 50 is you got heart disease. 30 could even be in the dang hospital. The 40, 50 middle number is heart disease, but it's pumping medium. The highest one, 60 to 75 or whatever, is really good. No heart issues. My number was 48.8. Isn't that lovely? So I'm not even in the middle, right? Or the end of the middle of heart disease. I'm way at the bottom beginning. And the notes I got from Mr. Yee, who's a wonderful cardiologist, is like, I'm pleased to see where you're at, and let's stay on your med regimen, and I'll see you in 6 months, and this and that and the other thing. And I Googled ejection fractions, and I Googled all the different doctor lingo about hearts, and there was a ton of it. And I needed to know. And so that's what I know. So I need exercise. I need to bend and stretch and move. And honestly, like in the wintertime with the cold, cold rain and the wind and I don't want to go anywhere, certainly not on my bike. So to get my heart pumping and going and dancing for about 20 minutes before my lives is something that I need to do. And 5 days a week, I'm supposed to be not walking. My doctor wants me to, because I told him, I went for a walk, when this stuff first happened, and he goes, well, are you building up a sweat? And I'm like, no, I'm just walking. And I walk an hour and a half around the store also, and come up and down the 4 flights of stairs. And he said, you've got to build up a sweat. And I'm just like, crap, So, and he asked me, how much salt do you have? And I said, I don't buy really salty foods, like, I'm not, like those sweet or those salty casseroles and things you can buy. It's just not good. And do I add salt to everything? No, heck no. And there's lots of people that do, you guys. He asked me that. And then he asked me if I take my blood pressure every few days. And last time I talked to him, I said, I remember, and then I don't do it, and then I don't do it. And so I'm trying to do that now because he wants to see what my pattern is. So, but this is a thing. I'm blessed and I'm lucky, aren't I? My face isn't hanging. I didn't have to learn how to eat or chew or swallow again. I don't have a walker that I have to deal with, thank God. And I'm fairly in good shape. So I have a lot to be thankful for, you guys. And I am pretty happy. But I've seen that YouTube and being connected and being able to be free with myself and my expression is really nice, because when I was married, it wasn't like that. And when I was with my daughter's father, and she and I have talked, and she feels the same way, he had zero sense of humor. Like, he hardly ever laughed, and he was hypercritical. Okay, there's some people are critical, right? He was hyper critical. You can look it up. I couldn't slice the cheese right. I couldn't buy the right size clothes for my own daughter. It didn't matter what it is. And so this is different. It's different. It's actually kind of nice to be single and just focus on myself. You know, do I want to, you know, have someone care about me and all this someday? Yeah. But if I don't, I'm okay. And I didn't think I would be. You know what I mean? I mean, Joe and I married twice, divorced twice. I'm with Shaylin's dad 8 years. He leaves me for a woman he met online and moves to Colorado with her, has 2 little girls. Yeah. And then after that, you know, I meet Darren. We're together, just him and I. I'm very loyal when I'm with someone. For 8 years, but then before that, it was Dennis. And in all honesty, I met Dennis on Meet Me, the Meet Me channel, or not channel, you know, where you meet people. And I was nervous and I was scared, but I went ahead and let this man drive from Kent to meet me after talking a long time. And it was really pretty special. It lasted 4 years, but then he ended up moving to Idaho, and he was a truck driver, and we weren't even really gonna be together. And he's like, you know, wanting me to use my phone, if you know what I mean. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna do that, you know. And it ended. I don't know where he is to this day, or anything. So I'm fine. I'm just fine. And hopefully, again, I don't need to address anything. If she doesn't, and even if she does try to say, oh God, you guys believe her, there'll be people in her chat and in her life that'll say, you know, they're just all stories. Don't worry about it. And, you know, and whatever. But it's my truth, my reality. And if he ever feels the need to come out and lie about me, meaning Jimmy, it's a lie. I mean, you know, period. I'm not delusional. I'm not crazy. I'm not a bunny boiler. That's just fucking weird. That is more upsetting, you know, than being told I'm crazy, because I saw parts of that movie. That was scary. So I'm fine. Everyone else hopefully is. Thanks for everyone that's been here. I'm going to go, and we'll be covering, you know, something in the news that's going on, and possibly a true crime thing that came in on my email last night. It's just, there's way too much babies getting beat, and oh my God, the picture of that baby's face. And the ribs were broken, you guys. Black eye. Ugh. First time this baby was left with his father. This young 24-year-old. You know, what did the baby do? Cry and he got sick of it? Crying? Why are these men impregnating women and they can't deal with a damn thing? Just, it's sick. It's really awful, and it happens a lot. So I might, cold November rain shared your video. Wow. I don't know who that is, but I don't mind. I've never minded about clip channels or share my whole video or parts of it. Queen Bee knows that. I've been like that from day one. Oh, let me end with this. Somebody said, I think it was on Queen Bee's, that I deleted my videos. I don't delete anything. I've privated some of my earlier dancing videos, privated. And that was 2 years ago. and the fighting back and forth with Team Rose that went on for forever, it feels like, that was very intense, but we've made up and everything's fine. We have too much in common to stay mad, and both of us are too grown to not forgive. Thank God. I mean, it didn't happen overnight, and I wasn't pushy about it, but you know, it happened, and it's wonderful. I stay in touch with her on Messenger. But those videos where I was freaking out, she was freaking out, or mine, I mean, they're not deleted. They're privated because, you know, she asked me to do that, and so I did. But as far as deleting, no, I don't think I've ever deleted. I'm not just saying this either. In 2.5 years I've been doing this. It'll be 3 this August. I started on August 25th, I believe, or the 28th. Maybe it's the 28th. I don't delete, you know, this dirty delete or whatever it's called. I don't delete. So that's not true. So I wanted to just get that out there. So this cold November rain shared my video. That's fine. It's fine with me. I read it out loud, and I don't want people to go contact her or him. It's probably a woman, and say, oh my God, she knows, and you might get struck. No, I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't care. In all honesty, it gets your name out more. It does. All right, I really am gonna go, and I'll hit this highlight, even though I probably already have one. And thank you. Thank you to everything in that super chat. I appreciate you guys. Love you. This is Brood Awakening with PCT. Thank you.